Felix.
Everything in the podcast from this moment forward is alleged. You're listening to the Dollop. This is an American history podcast where each week I, Dave Anthony, surfer, read a story from American history to a man
Who has a lot of questions about you and your little surf life. Gareth Reynolds, who has no idea what the topic is going to be about.
I live on a beach.
In your head.
No, I really live on a beach.
Quiet, Dave. And we're on part 2 of Elon Musk.
We're musking.
And
What?
she can't talk until we mention her name.
Who?
The guest.
Oh, we have a guest.
A great guest. She's the teal to our Musk.
Yes.
Karen Kilgariff. Thank you for joining us again.
Pulling my face back.
Yeah.
Pulling
I
my
haven't
face.
seen him. You guys, is it really bad?
I'm just copying Garrett's impression.
Yeah, no, it's not good. Well, he's doing their whole thing now of like harvesting
the
youth
babies.
blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's only right now they're like 18-year-olds, but you know, it's really going to.
Well, I think there was.
Yeah.
I don't know how real this was, but I read something about there being a lot of signs in Mexico that were like, "Are you a teenager? Do you need money? We need your blood." And like Teal's like, "That's mine."
You mean like those painted signs that are up or like new job, call this number.
Yeah, right, yeah. Guitar lessons. Too much blood.
I love that billionaire or multimillionaire that's very famous for trying to look younger.
Yeah.
And he absolutely looks like the weirdest.
Yeah.
Like he looks like a medical school teaching doll.
Totally. He
Who?
looks. Oh, this guy.
The guy that he's like, and
he's
also
taking his kid's blood.
he's like on a
I know who you're talking
press
about.
blitz,
Yep,
and he's always
yes.
posing with no shirt on. Where it's like it's more than just abs, friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not into this look of yours. It's not working.
No, it's not working.
You maybe look a little younger, but nobody wants to be around you.
It's really like
just-
you're like, oh, and this is what happens when yoga goes wrong.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
Have you met Downward Facing Dog the Man?
Also, the only point of that is that he wants to fuck high school girls.
right.
Yeah.
It's just say it. You keep asking for press, and that's the real story.
Yeah. I feel like we'll be comfortable with that headline in 10 years in this
Yeah.
dystopia.
I want to fuck headline.
Just like, man gets younger to try to bang high school girls. Yay or nay?
It's okay. Bill Maher.
Hot or not? Oh, boy.
3 question marks afterwards.
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
Bill Maher and his little glasses and his little podcast.
Jeez, what a dumbass.
What's the name of that podcast?
Unwatchable.
Stoner in a little shed.
No Mar.
Unwatchable.
Please, no Mar.
God, I mean, I just imagine if that guy had kids and some kid had to be like, God, that's my dad. Like, it's really the most embarrassing old guy stuff.
Well, there's a real. He's real proud of himself, no matter
Yes,
what thing.
Karen. I am. With good reason. Okay? Brutal.
So bad.
Just getting stoned, and then he's just like, but why do we even need, no, really, why do we even need the poor? Like, bro, what the fuck?
Just get a job. Make
Yeah.
something of yourself.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hearkening to the era when it was way easier. That's like, I mean, that is like what happens in England right now, where people are like, "Well, you should just get a house and a job like I did." It's like, yeah, no, that doesn't happen anymore.
What I really love is, and this is something I've seen on TikTok, is like they keep having these like what look like American town halls, but they're British. So everyone in the audience is insanely smart, and they open it up, and then a young woman who looks like she's 23 stands up and just eviscerates a panel of people where she's just like, I did it like. The thing I think those people, that era of people don't understand is that the Gen Z, late millennial Gen Z and beyond are hyper educated about this shit in a way that not only were we not, but it wasn't quote unquote cool to be.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like becoming, I mean, they are smart enough to be like, yeah, this is desperate.
Yes.
So that's why I know this stuff.
Yes.
And
you're
yeah.
killing us.
Yeah.
You're killing
Literally.
us.
Yes.
Yeah. And they're like, just work hard.
Yeah.
It's really like talking to a lemon. You're just like, I can't actually have a conversation with this thing.
Lemon.
Yeah. Old people, you're just like, why am I talking to you right now?
Come on now.
Tell
I'm not
me-
much of a lemon.
Speaking of
I'm not that lemony.
A lemon with an overbite. Where did you come from?
Come on now.
How are you?
Right. I suppose my skin looks a bit like rind, but
Did you see the video? Video of Biden walking off. It's at a ceremony.
Oh, that's great. That was great.
A ceremony, and there's like it's for an old
older
military guy, very old military
Even
guy.
the old guy's like, I think we're supposed to stay here, Mr. President.
He just walks off and doesn't like walk to the back door like he's supposed to. Just walks through the crowd and everyone's like, what's going on?
Yes.
And he just leaves and then the music starts playing and the guy's just standing up there alone. Like, what's happening?
He's like, look, I gotta go. My dog is biting someone.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here.
All right, I'm out of here.
Music.
Play the theme? Oh.
And called it, quote, his jam pad.
Jam pad?
I'm the fucking hippo guy.
Dave, okay.
My name's Gary.
My name's Gary.
Wait.
Is it for fun?
And this is not going to become the Tickly podcast.
Okay.
This is like anarchy.
On a 5-part coefficient.
My room is playing.
Now hit him with the puppy. You both present sick arguments.
No sleep till hippo.
That's like the hippo.
Action part.
Hi, Gary.
No.
Nicely done, my friend.
Every Dave.
It's not funny.
Ooh, he's mad about a surf buddy.
Not funny. Don't make fun of Graham.
He's just feeling, he's going through power withdrawal.
2006.
Okay. Right.
Big Silicon Valley guys are investing in Tesla. In July 2006, the Tesla Roadster was revealed at an event. Celebrities did little 5-minute drives of it, like Schwarzenegger. Only 5 minutes, though, because it could overheat. So
Got pretty hot in there fast.
get where you're going very quick.
My back's burned.
The price was set at $90,000. Okay. So it would be ready in a year. It was not. Engineers said Elon's ideas led to delays, like he wanted a carbon fiber body, which meant a specific paint. A paint which is toxic. Employees preferred the CEO Eberhard over Elon because he was a genius engineer. That toxic paint, by the way, the government regulates levels to protect workers, which Tesla regularly exceeded, but we don't know by how much because Tesla did not keep the required records.
Okay.
Cool. And isn't that where the government steps in, or is that when that?
What government?
Oh, right. Yeah, you got me. What were you going to say, Karen?
Well, I just gasped because I have a Tesla and so is it toxic? Should I not be leaning on it
No,
so
it's
much?
fine. It's more when they're spraying it.
You doing a lot of
going into
leaning
the
on
air.
your Tesla?
I mean, I pull into the grocery store parking lot and I pull out, right?
Yeah.
My dust-free rag.
Yeah.
And I just fucking lean. See who comes up.
Hello.
Do you like podcasts? I say as they walk by.
Does this voice sound a little familiar?
Hey, what's up? Do you recognize that voice?
Yeah, podcasting.
It's from podcasting.
No, it's just when it goes into the air when they're spraying it.
Cool.
So there's manufacturing issues. Elon brings in a fixer to watch over Eberhard because Eberhard's the CEO.
The fixer to watch the guy who knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's going to like check things and make sure that everything's. And so he concludes they'd kept worker costs down, but the software to track material costs was a joke. The Roadster supposedly cost $68,000 to make, which would net them $22,000 per car. But an audit revealed that each car was actually costing $200,000 to make, which is more.
And they're selling it again for
$90,000.
And just, Dave, I don't know much. I mean,
Okay.
sure, I've seen Shark Tank a few times. That's not a good margin.
It's more.
Right.
Yeah, so you're losing money by selling
And
the
it's
car.
one of those things where you're selling it cheap and it's costing so much, but you want to seem like you're a good business, so
Yeah.
you're doing that take on the chin move. To
That's
be like,
right.
Smart. It's cool.
A
good.
third of the cars they made didn't work. Which
Is that an issue?
It's a decent amount of
Sure.
cars you don't want.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why did he want to do carbon fiber? Just because he liked
He
in
liked
an
it.
encyclopedia?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
All of his ideas are like that. It's
Random.
just like, I mean, they just had to
Never
keep.
mentioned that in Britannica 1973.
It's just like he has the volume go to 11 because it's that shit.
'Cause
The
he's
fart,
cool,
the fart
he's
noise,
crazy.
like all that stuff.
The fart noise.
What's going on?
Oh, that's right. When you
You have
honk
a
the
fart
horn.
noise in your no.
You honk the horn at
in a
farts?
Tesla, you can hit a button and it makes a fart noise under someone sitting in the back seat if you want, or any of the.
So it
seats.
just says
you can tell
Elon?
it which seat to make the fart noise on, and it goes fart.
I know where you could shave a little bit of the budget.
There's also full-on karaoke. You can have karaoke and karaoke lyrics scrolling on the.
That's good.
On the screen.
That's good.
He announced that he's going to allow people to have Twitter on there, which is good because that's
You mean X.
Jesus,
Sorry,
have
sorry.
Some respect.
Twix. So Elon uses all of this stuff to push Eberhard out. Eberhard was made the president of technology. And then he quit
Yeah.
because that's not a thing.
Right.
Elon gave a speech to employees. This is from Vance, quote, saying we would work on Saturdays and Sundays and sleep under desks until it got done. Someone pushed back, arguing that everyone had been working so hard and they were ready for a break and to see their families. And Elon said they will get to see their families a lot when they will get to see their families a lot when we go bankrupt.
Okay.
All right.
So will that be in like June, or
Seems like it's pretty soon, huh?
can I actually plan a vacation?
Yeah.
One employee missed an event because his wife was having a baby. Elon emailed him, quote, that is no excuse. I'm extremely disappointed. You need to figure out where your priorities are. We're changing the world and changing history, and either you commit or you don't.
God,
Yeah.
what a prick. Just the worst.
It's completely insane. But this goes to Karen's point in the last episode of like, this guy wants to go into space alone.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't give a shit about
Yeah,
any of this
yeah.
stuff.
No.
Like, if there's one thing you get a day off for, it's your wife giving birth.
If there's one thing you'd want to give a guy a day
Yeah.
off for,
Yeah,
like
having a
it's
baby.
it's like he's saying he's admitting it's offensive to him that people live separate from
They have lives.
living
Yeah.
for him.
Yes.
Which is just, it runs through daily television, but it also is just like, that is a weird, like if you're 20, it probably works. But like with people with families and clearly a lot of abilities to be able to get a different job, you'd just be like, okay, I'll go somewhere else with my engineering degree and my big brain.
Yeah, he's also just it's like, since he's a loser, he doesn't understand why anyone would want anything.
Right.
Right. Well, so if you
He doesn't have surfing.
if you grew up without friends, if you grew up with a mean dad and everything
Yeah.
else, then you're just like, well, life isn't good.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But on Mars,
On Mars.
could be up on Mars. Mars Mia,
They call it when
I will
they-
come again.
in 12-step rooms. They call it a geography when you get up and you move, thinking that'll make everything better.
Oh, right.
Which is what he's doing with the planet.
With the planet.
It's not going to be more happiness
love
on
that.
Mars either.
That's the best.
You're still going to be stuck with you, Elon.
But also that the grind set mentality thing of
Yeah.
put in fucking 18 hours.
It's great.
It's such a scam.
That's how they built Atari.
When I got out of college, I was offered a job as it was a computer cartography was happening. So it was like MapQuest or one of those companies that was starting out. And my buddy was working there, and he's like, "Yeah, I can get you in here." He goes, "It's just the hours are like 12 or 14 hours a day," and I was just like, "No." What if I get a shitty job and don't do that?
Yeah. But then you could have,
I mean, I could have been in on it, and if that was because there were only two companies at that point competing. If it was one of them, and then they probably merged anyway, I could have made money, right? Stocks and everything else.
Maybe.
But also, like, I don't want to work 14 to 6-hour days for 4
Yeah, but,
years
like,
and then not have anything.
But direction,
or even do that at all.
In
you
your
could have been working
20s.
in directions. That's like,
what a gift.
oh, come on, bro.
So at the end of 2007, Tesla is running out of money. In 2006, two of Elon's cousins founded a company called SolarCity. It was a solar company based on suggestions by Elon, who became chairman and helped fund it. The idea was to control the entire process of going solar, from sale to installation, to drive down costs.
Okay.
This is what everybody does now. I
Yeah.
don't know what was going on then, but I think that people would buy the solar panels and then different people would put them up. And then like when I did my panels, I'd have an electrician come out and do it. I think that this is all one thing,
right.
Which is, I guess, a revolutionary idea. It's really not. It's just like, why doesn't we just have all the same guys doing that?
Yeah.
But that's the basic idea. So over the years, he and Justine had 5 kids.
What? I didn't
But
know
2
that.
shots. They had twins and triplets. So
Oh.
What?
That's IVF.
Weird semen. That's what it says to me. Strange little semen there. 2 to 3.
Just working extra hard for no reason.
Yeah. Look, the sperm that gets into the egg is the one that's gonna.
All
really
my
work
sperm get in.
the longest.
I'm the alpha sperm.
You got to really bang on the egg to make sure that it works. We're gonna send a sperm rocket. Go ahead, Karen.
Sorry, Elon. I just wanted to.
No, it's kind of good. It was going off the rails early.
I just imagine getting the news as a pregnant woman that you are about to have motherfucking triplets.
Oh, after
No, I know.
twins, you're
After
like, at
twins.
least I just get one this time.
Yeah, seriously.
Triplets.
And they're Elons. Ugh. All gummy.
Staring.
This one came out with a Kindle.
He really is. He's like Swedish fish without coloring.
Yeah.
But Elon was never home. They had nannies, but he was never there because he's fucking working 18-hour days.
That's right.
Sure.
But Justine thinks they can still fix the marriage. So they start counseling. And right when they start counseling, quote, he gave me an ultimatum. Either we fix the marriage today or I will divorce you tomorrow.
This guy's good.
That's part of
I'm
counseling.
looking to close the deal.
Yeah.
They tell you to do that in counseling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hi,
But
it's your first day of counseling. It's time for
the
ultimatums.
The counselor's like, I'm actually going to help you go through this a little bit. He's like, no.
She says she's not ready to divorce. Quote, later that same morning, I tried to make a purchase and discovered he had cut off my credit card, which is how I also knew that he had gone ahead and filed for divorce.
Wow.
He didn't tell her. He had someone else tell her.
Still pregnant with triplets?
No,
sorry.
all the babies are there.
I'm so upset about the triplets.
Yeah,
it's
as you
tough.
should be.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We either raise them together or we put them back in. What? Come on.
That's not fair.
Yeah, figure it out. We have the right paint for this.
So a friend takes Elon to London to cheer him up. A club promoter brought...
I know you're sad because you cut your wife off.
Yeah, like he's into the tough
He's
spot.
so upset.
Oh, Elon, man, when are you going to catch a break? The stuff you're doing to yourself and others.
Tough.
Poor guy.
A club promoter brings some attractive women around, including 22-year-old up-and-coming actress Tallulah O'Reilly. She's 14 years younger. They go out a few times. A few weeks later, she comes to visit him in California, and Elon said, quote, I don't want you to leave. I want you to marry me. And they shook on it.
Oh, good.
They did what on it?
I read this shit.
Ribbon cutting? Oh, my God.
They shook.
Put her there. Wife, maybe.
And then he slapped her on the shoulder firmly.
There you are. Oh, welcome aboard.
It's very quick. I think it's like, a couple weeks or something. It's very fast.
Where she was
These-
like, I was on so much Ambien, I don't know what I was
Who
Wait,
am
what?
I? So SpaceX bid on NASA contracts despite not having successfully launched anything.
Nice.
Fuck.
There's several failures, but finally, after 6 years, SpaceX was the first private company to put a rocket into orbit. Elon, quote, well, that was freaking awesome.
Terrible.
I'm sorry to ask you this. Do you have what year that is? Was that
I don't have
I
the year,
really
but
thought a
it's-
surf question was coming.
no, only
It's around
because
2007, 2006.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Because there was a year at a Sarah Silverman roof party where we saw a SpaceX rocket.
Oh, wow.
But it looked like a gigantic jellyfish in the sky, and I was absolutely positive that the aliens had landed. And it was so funny because there was only 5 people. I could only get 5 people to even interact about it with me. Everyone else was just pretending it wasn't happening. Where I'm like, it's right there. Have you seen those?
No.
No.
It truly looks like a jellyfish is swimming in one direction. So there's this weird, it's like a circle, and then there's a weird tail to it, and it's really freaky looking, and you've never seen anything in the sky that looks like that or that is that big. It's
Yeah.
gigantic, and they don't ever tell you or warn you or
Right.
anything. So I was like, holy fuck, look at this. And I'm sure it was Chip Pope was with me and one other comic that were like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, this is it. This
Yeah.
is it. And we were freaking out. And everybody else, I was like, look up
everyone's
there.
like,
And people
whatever.
are like,
I don't know.
I'm like, this is so,
You trying the artichoke dip?
so
So
telling.
What's the key?
I was so freaked out. And then the
Yeah,
next day,
right.
it's like, oh, apparently they do that all the time. And people freak out all the time because no one's ready for it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that sounds like them.
You can put that story anywhere in this that you actually need it.
No, I will.
I don't think it went there.
Put it in 2 or 3 times, I say. Put it after each one of your surf answers. Would you surf in the sky?
Yeah.
Okay.
But would Graham?
No.
Weirdo.
So the rocket goes up. The SpaceX is still in financial trouble, though. Tesla is not doing much better. A Tesla employee wrote that they were laying off staff and only had $9 million in the bank. Quote, "We have over 1,200 reservations, which means we've taken multiple of tens of millions of cash from our customers and have spent them all. Meanwhile, we only delivered less than 50 cars."
Oh, my God.
Fucking A.
That's some stressful shit. Oh, my God.
There's a I think it's on Y Combinator, but there's a software guy. Someone put all the pictures up on Twitter and
X.
on Twix, and I read it a long time ago, so I didn't see it. But it was basically a guy who was in some sort of just forum for these kind of guys, and he was describing what was going on at Tesla, and it was just like fucking crazy, like the way the cars are being made and the shortcuts that are being taken and all the shit. It's just nuts. Like everyone's like, this is fucking nuts. Like he just went through and explained everything.
So it was like a miracle any cars got made at all.
I mean, basically, yeah, it was just clusterfuck roadblock after roadblock and asking people to do stuff that can't be done and just shit that's really unsafe. And yeah,
I still can't figure out how to open my glove box.
you never will. That's one of the features.
Don't worry about gloves.
It's like that drawer with its fake in the kitchen. It's just there.
Yeah,
it just shows you what
yeah.
it could be. Yeah.
It's ornamental.
You keep yanking on it.
Yeah.
So they're losing tons of money and it's a problem. So at the end of 2008, Elon emails his rich friends asking them to invest to help cover payroll.
I like how when you're rich and you need to borrow money, it's called investing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's way better.
Tesla employees even wrote checks to keep the company going.
Oh, my God. That's just crazy. That's brainwash.
Yeah, but
shit.
Yes, for real.
At the last minute, before it all blew up, SpaceX won a NASA contract, $1.6 billion for 12 flights to the International Space Station. Apparently, he was really close to losing both companies.
Damn it.
Former SpaceX employee Bam Brogan.
You surf with him? You must. Brogan.
Said, quote, "Elon has always been optimistic. That's the nice word. He can be a downright liar about when things need to get done. He will pick the most aggressive time schedule imaginable, assuming everything goes right, and then accelerate it by assuming that everyone can work harder. Everything he does is fast. He pees fast. It's like a fire hose.
fast?
3 seconds and out."
That's not pee. He's not.
He's big.
Pee 3 seconds?
Just because you can't do it doesn't
So-
mean Elon can.
I'm gonna pay for you all to have your urethras widened so you can do the
Blast
Elon.
it out. Get back to work.
The
Real
least
big.
satisfying pee of all time.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
I'm sure he's talked about catheters, right?
Yeah.
Elon told customers the Roadster price had increased from $92,000 to $109,000. Then they had a safety recall. They had 345 cars out, and
And there's a recall.
there's a recall.
Like, you must be so like, oh man, I can't believe I got one. We need it back. It's,
They're splitting in half.
they're splitting in half. And when they try to fart, they explode.
It turned out a bolt had not been tightened properly.
Wow.
Gareth, we're brought to you by Helix Sleep, which you know as a mattress company. We've been using Helix Sleep for a long time. We enjoy our Helix
best.
mattresses. They really are the best. They're
The best. Do you have this? What do you have? Do you have the?
I have the Dusk
queen,
Lux.
Which size?
Queen.
I have a king, so I'm better.
So-
and go ahead.
Well, I am a queen, so I got a queen.
I am a king.
So Helix mattresses, here's how they work. You go to the Helix website. You take like a 2-minute quiz. It's like, how do you sleep? Are you hot? What are you, a cold sleeper? Do you sleep red? Do you sleep blue? All the colors.
Well, it's actually it's like a quiz, but it has like actual questions that make sense, not that sort of stuff.
I, of course, sleep on my nose. And
which is not possible.
So that's what the Dusk Lux is good for. It's good for other stuff, but that's the main
No.
thing, the nose.
Nope.
And that's why I use it.
Did you get their email asking you to really kind of just stop with how you sleep, what part of your body you sleep on stuff? Did you get that email?
They said don't do the eyes anymore, but they didn't say...
They were specific. They said the eyes, but I think that was just kind of an overall note of like, stop with all the sort of parts of your face you sleep on or...
I've had my mattress for about 7 years now. I sleep like a baby. It's a tremendous...
You're just really ignoring the note.
It's a tremendous mattress. My wife loves it. My dogs love the mattress. Everybody loves it. My son was like, can I have this? So we gave him ours and bought a new one. It's all happening over here at the Anthony household.
Doesn't sound great.
It comes in a box to your house. You open it up. It puffs up. It comes to life. There's singing. There's dancing.
This is true. Now you're finally back on message that the bed comes out and sings to you. And
it usually
dances.
sings.
It's very Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. I had to fight mine to stop it.
That's also a thing. So Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/dollop and use code HelixPartner20. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now.
Are you ready to upgrade your windows? Replacement by Pella is the right choice. We back our products and installation, unlike other window companies. And Pella windows and doors are built to perform just like your football team on game day. Right now, buy one window and get another at 50% off, plus no payments and no interest for 12 months. Visit Pella.com today. That's Pella.com. Pella, your trusted partner for a more beautiful home and a winning choice, whether it's for your windows or your football team.
Tesla went public in June 2010, raising $226 million. Shares went up 41% in a day.
That's business, baby.
That's business. Based on what?
Doesn't matter. Come
Good
on.
word, phone calls, different phone calls around town.
Great.
And remember, these are when the cars are coming out and like parts don't fit together. Like it's like I remember just seeing the videos and like the cars are just crazy.
Especially with like car heads and gear heads and stuff where it's like the whole thing of everything being aligned.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like it has to be happening.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not at all. So in September, Elon and Tallulah got married in Scotland. They divorced a year later.
In Scotland? I'm just a romantic in divorces. I just love that. Yeah, book ending.
Do you want to go back for our divorce?
Please. Well, let's go to the same castle and end this.
Elon announced their divorce in a tweet. They got married again in 2013 in a medieval-themed wedding.
Sorry, again?
Yes.
They went back in.
They went back in.
She's like, you know what? I admit it. You're the alpha.
Yeah.
you
I'm
really
ready to
are.
give it up.
I want to call our marriage X.
SolarCity was blowing up. They went public in 2012.
Oh, sorry.
That's very good.
Right.
And it's only going up. The workers were told they were going to change the world.
That's what you told me when we started this podcast.
I did. And it's going to happen.
Guys,
Swear
you
to God.
have. You have.
Promise?
Yeah.
Dave's surfing.
I'm
How
surfing
different is
now.
that?
It's kind of creepy, but okay.
But to install and lease solar panels with homeowners paying over time, that means you have to have a lot of upfront money. So basically, they're like laying out a plan to take monthly payments from people over like 20 years. That's what you're talking about when you lease a solar roof. So they're like, it's zero up front. They're not making any fucking money.
Is that a problem?
Yeah,
for an Elon
a little
related
bit.
business.
So they have to keep asking for investors, right? They need investor. So
It's getting pyramid schemy.
And now they're starting to be mounting complaints about bad installations and misleading sales tactics. In June 2013, Tesla launches their second car, the Model S sedan. That's your baby, right?
I don't think so.
I think that's what you have.
Is that mine?
Featuring a non-functioning glove compartment.
It's
I don't
not-
think you have the 3.
It's not a
Three
sedan.
smaller.
It's not
Can
smaller.
we take a Tesla
the
break
Y?
and go inspect your car? Am I crazy?
You have the Y?
Doesn't it have a computer?
She's reaching. She just reached for a glass. Does anybody have a computer?
Glass of water. Bring up my car details.
Car?
You really don't know which one you have?
I know it's not. The X is the one. He named the other thing the X.
I know.
He keeps really
It's
doing
crazy.
it.
I think he is just trying to get a porn website going. He really is.
He just loves porn.
He loves the porn.
The one with the wings I don't have.
You don't
That's
have a
the
winged
Y.
car? There's a
That's
car
the
with
S.
wings? He has a wing car?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
he
doors.
did a McLaren thing on one of his cars.
That's bad, right? That's just aesthetic?
Yes.
I mean, obviously, I
isn't
haven't
that
seen
what
him
yours
flying. Isn't that you driving that?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's me in Tahoe.
That's what I thought.
No. Mine's the one that has kind of like the smashed back.
Smashback. It's a Y. Yeah, you have a Y.
Oh, wow.
Some of the Ys don't. I think early ones have the wings, and then they stop doing it.
No. I
They
made sure
stop the wing?
because I kept saying my cousin has the one with wings, and he was like, "You got to get this car," and I was just like, I could never get out of that
Ever.
car. I would be so embarrassed.
Yes. The doors go, woo.
So like,
Oh, that
every
one.
time you
Right,
go to
right,
like
right.
CVS,
Right.
it's like, look at me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Every
right,
time.
right.
Yeah.
Insane.
Just these Skittles. You're a fucking weird man. You understand that, sir? Just
like
these,
to-
just the ramen and a sun-kissed.
That's me, by the way.
That's mine over
That's
there.
me out there.
God damn it! Someone parked on the driver's side. I gotta go.
I'd like to point out that the whole time we were talking about this, Gareth was picturing actual wings.
Well, I was picturing wings, like little wings you could pull out just for to be cool. That is what I was picturing, 100%. I was actually picturing the band.
Aw, Paul McCartney's
Yeah.
always in the passenger seat.
on, get in. We're having a drive. Linda can't make it, but we've got veggie burgers.
So the S is launched. A couple catch fire after collisions. It gets a terrible review in the New York Times. The reviewer ran out of charge on a highway. Years later, a Reuters investigation showed Tesla was, quote, rigging the range estimated software. The directive to present optimistic range estimates came from Tesla CEO Elon Musk.
Optimistic range estimates is the most Enron-y term ever.
Yeah.
Optimistic, that's not what I want out of a range estimate. Well, we're really just a good attitude will get you a few more
It's
miles.
more about the vibe than it is
on.
about the charge.
Hey, believe in us. I'm in the Mojave Desert. Come on,
For real.
dig deep.
For real.
Optimism.
Come on.
I mean, it goes into very in detail, like some people came out and said what they did, but they just totally fucked with the software. But
Right.
also the EPA doesn't have just like one test and they go, okay, this is how we're going to do mileage. You get all these different ways you can do it. Mm-hmm. And the way it was explained
That's
to me by
good.
a car guy, because I rented a Tesla just to see what it was like. And I was like, oh, the mileage is not even remotely better than my car, even though it's supposed to be way better. And some guy said, a car guy was like, no, that's because you get like different versions of estimates you can use, and like Porsche will take the lowest estimate. So when you drive
Right,
it, you're
so
like,
that
wow,
you-
this gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My car, we have a Hyundai, and it's just exactly what you think it would be. And then the Tesla's is like the way top one that it is not what it ever is going to be. So they can advertise it gets 350 miles, but it only
It
gets
probably
260.
fucks with
Right.
the mileage when you got the wings out too. 'Cause aerodynamic.
Depends if you go down a hill and you take flight a little bit.
I mean, if you're flying,
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Guys, come on.
Come on, guys.
So that's how they rigged it. Whatever. It's all out now. Elon dresses people down in public, sometimes with personal attacks. If there are typos in an email, he sometimes can't read the email as he gets so annoyed.
That's cool.
That's fine. That's normal stuff.
Someone
That's
needs to
not.
throw him down
Hey,
the
you know
stairs.
what? You're fine. You don't need to work on the shit with your dad. From
No.
when you were a
Yeah,
kid. You
no.
don't need to go to therapy. It's all fine.
It's not a control issue.
It's not at all.
You're
like
an
there's
alpha.
no
Yeah.
There's nothing going on here.
Everything's
That's
You're an alpha. Those are good.
Ex-Musk employee, quote, Elon's worst trait by far, in my opinion, is a complete lack of loyalty or human connection. Many of us worked tirelessly for him for years and were tossed to the curb like a piece of litter without a second thought.
Well, first, who's tossing litter on the? I mean,
What is it, 1967?
Yeah.
No, we're back, baby. You can drive around and see it. We're throwing garbage all the time. Let's go, garbage. Yeah, you like it.
I would
Yeah.
rather not have eye contact during that statement from now on.
I also feel like that was very much Surf Dave, who is
Yeah.
now super into ecology, right? He's never
Cut
noticed
your
trash
six-pack
before.
rings, dude. The turtles.
The turtles?
Yeah, they get caught in it, man. I'm telling you, no, come on,
think it's
I know a
straws.
paper straw is hard to sip, but every time you see a tortoise with one of those plastic straws in
Tortoise?
its nose and
I'm out in the
yank it
desert?
out. Yeah, it's desert turtles. My car broke down out here when I was about to surf. Said I had another 40 fucking miles to the ocean.
It sounds exactly like you.
Yeah, I know.
It's dead on.
Do you ever listen to the song Wipeout and lament it?
Please don't let this happen to me, Graham.
Why is he laughing so much? Graham? Can you get a surfboard built for two? And if you could, would you and Graham write it together?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Elon at this point has rabid fans, which we all know.
Yeah.
Are you going to explain that at all?
I can't
How can
because
you?
it's it comes from this whole thing. Everything he's setting up with all these companies is I'm saving the world.
Yes.
I'm saving humanity. I'm saving the world.
I'm a genius.
I'm a genius.
I'm a successful genius.
It's very much that. Like, people are looking for an answer. There's no solutions to any of these things because there's no government doing anything. So you latch onto this guy who is like,
heroic
a
seeming
philosopher king type, but he's
also,
it's all bluster,
It is, and then he has appearance, he seemed like so many people are like, he's like Tony Stark. I think we're just idiots.
That's a message that has been propagated. That's a PR thing. Also.
Yeah, right. Yeah. People are like, he's like Tony Stark.
Yeah, I mean, they had him in one of the movies.
So dislikable.
They had him in one of the movies. Robert Downey Jr. came and hung out with him, and it's all done on purpose.
It feels very parallel to Trump, where Trump being in so much entertainment as I'm the rich guy, where it's meanwhile he's not paying anybody and all that stuff.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a painter's like, you owe me $45. He's like, I never agreed to give you $45.
I'll
like,
see you in
dude,
court.
you have a gold toilet. I didn't get out. You liar. You sack of shit. It was in Home Alone 2.
So he's got the rabid fans. In 2013, Elon unveils Hyperloop. It's the fastest way to travel ever, 800 miles an hour. It's like a giant.
What is it?
It's like a giant.
It's a Hot Wheel?
Remember pneumatic tubes from movies where they'd put the paper in the tube and shoot it across the office and someone would take it out?
Bank tubes.
That's the idea. That's what it seems like. It's underground. You're going in a tube in a little pod or whatever, and you shoot across to L.A.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. Where do you get it again? Because it feels like it should be out by now.
Finally, you can be like money from the bank in 1978.
A tube shoot.
He says he wants to build one from L.A. to San Francisco. Now,
Shit, get shot
that's
in a
okay.
tube.
We don't need that.
it would take 30 minutes to get there.
Oh my God.
5 years before, voters had passed a bill funding high-speed rail between the two cities. Quote, it makes sense for things like L.A. to San Francisco, New York to D.C., New York to Boston. Over 1,000 miles, the tube starts to become prohibitive, and you don't want tubes every which way. You don't want to live in tube land.
What? Who said this?
He's just the Elon.
He said this?
Yes. At some point,
You
he sounds
don't
like a
wanna
guy
live
who
in tube
just starts
land?
talking and doesn't know what he's saying. He's just babbling stuff out.
I mean,
You
that
don't live in
actually
tube
sounds like a
land.
Trump quote.
Yeah, that does.
You don't live in tube land. Trust me. Little tubes.
Elon told Vance the Hyperloop idea came from his hatred of California's proposed high-speed rail.
Oh, for fuck. Oh, God damn it.
He hates it.
He hates it. He hates how slow the train would be and how much it would cost.
The idea that.
He hates it. It also is going to compete with Teslas.
Right. there
It's
you go.
also real.
Yeah.
It's real.
It can actually happen, and it's better than what we have.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
It's
instead,
proven.
They do that all the time. That's like the government's ruse, is where they're just like, someone will pitch, and they're like, well, no, but if we want the best healthcare ever, and it's like, just fucking get
Just
something
anything.
going.
Yes.
Well,
We'll
it's-
improve it later.
Yeah.
It's funny because people are like, you could fly there in 45 minutes instead of 2 hours
like-
on the train. I'd be like, I'd rather not go near an airport.
Yes.
I can't fly there in 45 minutes because the 45 minutes is when the plane takes off and lands. The other 2-3 hours is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dave, you don't want to live in tube land.
What are you, a hamster,
You say
Dave?
that now,
Don't
but
be
then you're going to
crazy.
be in tube land, and I don't think you'll love it.
Vance wrote that it seemed like Elon just introduced the idea to get the high-speed rail canceled. Quote, right now...
He hates canceling, though.
Yeah, this is Elon. Right now, I can't take my eye off the ball at either SpaceX or Tesla. So he's like, we're going to do this. We can do
Hyperloop,
this.
but once I'm able
But not
to-
right now, I can't. But he's really just trying to... He wants to kill this train idea.
Because of Tesla.
If there are high-speed trains everywhere...
Less cars.
He's a transportation guy. And at the same time, in the time that all this shit's happening, China has built a complete, massive, gigantic
They
high-speed
put
rail
Brad Pitt in one for
all
God's
over their
sake.
country.
Yeah.
In early
I
2000...
love that movie, High Speed Rail.
That's
great.
so
Oof.
good.
It's really good. In early 2014, his assistant of 12 years MB.
How
Remember
did
MB?
that person hang in there that long?
Because she had an alcoholic dad.
Yeah, you're right. Like, so she has some codependent thing. Anyway, she gave up her social and family life to match his schedule. She's working his schedule with him. So if he's there for 20 hours, she is. If he's there for 48 hours, like sometimes he'll sleep there. If he's there, she's there with him.
Right.
She's got no life other than this. But she's also like crazy integral to the success of the business. She protects him from all the bullshit. She protects workers from his raging idiot stuff. Vance credits her with a lot of success at Tesla and SpaceX.
Yeah.
So she goes to him and she goes, I deserve a raise.
Oh, boy.
I should be paid as well as the executives. I'm doing so much here. When she asks for a raise, he tells her to take 2 weeks off so he can do her job to see if he actually needs her. And she comes back and he fires her.
Oh, my God.
He gives her 12-month severance and they have never spoken since.
Ugh. Dickhead.
According to Esquire magazine, in 2013, Texas passed 2 new laws to lure SpaceX, reducing the liability for nuisance complaints and closing public beaches for spaceflight activities.
Oh, shit. Well, stay out of Texas, Dave. You and your boys.
Oh my God, you would hate it
You
there.
guys would not be. Imagine that.
There's no surf there.
You plan a big day of surfing. You guys pack your sandwiches.
not in Texas.
You got your picnic ready for post surf, and then you find out the beach is closed. So some little lunatic wants to launch a rocket, so we don't live in tube land. Jeez, buddy, you and Graham not being able to eat egg salad sandwiches together. Drink some of that Martin's fake champagne that you buy at Vaughn's.
You really made surfing terrible.
What?
It's really awful.
Betty? Just saying.
Surfing / picnicking.
Yeah. Well, you make a day of it. Secret handshakes, I'm sure, right?
In 2014, SpaceX bought a land in Brownsville, one of the poorest U.S. cities. SpaceX promised 500 local jobs, and they said thousands, like 15,000 would come watch each launch. You can get tourists and money.
Meanwhile, Karen was at a party where nobody would even look at her. When it was happening.
Screaming at the top of my
And
lungs.
people were like, yeah, whatever.
The site was near Boca Chica, which is on the Lower Rio Grande Valley National Wildlife Refuge.
Oh, nice. That's perfect for nature. Awesome.
Before SpaceX, it was just a dozen houses, mostly retirees, and empty during the summer. The nearest store is 30 minutes away. There's no fresh water. It's prone to hurricanes, but it's where these people who are very poor could afford a retirement vacation house.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like they're really they're not worth very much. But to these poor people, it's like that's all I could get. Elon said the site was perfect because, quote, we've got a lot of land with nobody around, and so if it blows up, it's cool.
Oh, Jesus
Which really
Christ.
pissed off the people living there.
Yeah.
Right next. I mean, you can really see there's a street with houses on it, and then there's the SpaceX thing.
Not you guys.
Yeah.
Good to meet you. But it'll be cool if someone blows up.
So after they were pissed, right after that, residents get a letter saying they have 2 weeks to sell their houses, which SpaceX would buy at 3 times the market value, which is $141,000.
Wow.
That's 3 times the market value for their house.
Oh, shit.
So they can't.
It's the land evacuation shit or whatever, like where you have to abandon.
Well, it's not eminent domain yet.
It isn't, no.
No, but Texas is just saying this is your only chance to get more money than you would get.
Yeah, no one's
otherwise.
going to buy.
No one's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, you can't take that and go buy another vacation house.
No.
That's it.
Right.
No one, yeah.
Well, you don't want to live in tube land.
One retired couple, quote, we were floored. It made you feel that if you didn't accept this offer, eminent domain would be the next step. We felt under duress. We were caught off guard. In 2005, SpaceX temporarily lost its launch pad at Vandenberg Air Force Base because Lockheed Martin was concerned SpaceX rockets would explode and damage their infrastructure.
I mean, listen to the list of heroes.
And Elon Musk was furious. Quote, somebody else builds a house next to you and tells you to get out of your house? Like, what the hell? That's just fundamentally unfair.
No, Dave. Come on. Dave, please. He's like, can you imagine if they're like, you bought, hey, asshole. Not you, it's good to meet you. But imagine if you had a place and it was yours and someone forces you out.
That's such a classic, whatever that is, narcissism or whatever, where it's like, it's only bad when it happens to
It's
me.
only bad when it happens to me. That's right. Like, he's horrified. But to him, it's like, I'm doing something cool. Those people are just...
They're just in the way of something cool.
In the way
What are they
of
doing?
coolness.
Living?
Yeah.
And for Lockheed Martin to be like, our hero?
Maybe I'm going to start following Lockheed Martin on,
Yeah.
on
They're pretty great.
X.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Just
Twitter,
kind of
right?
interact and defend them when people accuse
Well, they
them
have
of stuff.
heed.com, which is their social media, and I love it. Yeah, you're heating.
Yeah.
I got reheated earlier a bunch of times. Yeah, I put out a good heat.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. No, we got a bunch of them. We got Blue Sky, we got Threads, we got X, and then heat.
Will you send me a heed?
An
link?
invite.
Yeah,
I'll get you.
Cool,
I'll get
cool.
you all
Give me
heated
heat-
up.
Thank
heat
you.
in.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
We don't
it's
need it
really
all
free.
powed up with your little water talk.
What seems to be truly unfair was Elon's treatment of workers at the Fremont Tesla factory. According to the podcast Land of Giants, the Tesla Shockwave, Elon set huge goals and expected perfection. He would tell them to go, quote, super hardcore or ultra hardcore.
See, well, I know that language works with you, but most of that's like.
It's
Can you
meaningless.
imagine hearing, like, I'd just be like, I will kill this man. I'm so sorry. I am going to kill this man.
You're just in your office working and some guy pops his head in.
You should go-
You're going super hardcore today, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm going super hardcore, Elon.
It's hour 14 right now.
Oh, it's super hardcore. Who needs a monster? Huh? $3 each.
This led to, quote, extremely long hours, unsafe working conditions, harassment, scandals, fines, lawsuits, and above all, a fear that one false slip would lead to termination.
Yeah.
Working at Tesla was all-consuming. Engineers worked weekends. They worked until 8, 9, 10 p.m. Employees slept on floors after 12-hour shifts. They fainted from dehydration. A man's leg was crushed on the assembly line. Sewage pipes burst, and the workers had to wade through shit. The Tesla factory had 3 times as many OSHA safety violations as 10 other U.S. car factories combined.
So they are the best.
It's one of the worst
Yeah.
factories in the country as far as violations and injuries and stuff.
But
Also-
that's hardcore.
It is super hardcore.
Thanks.
It is very hardcore.
And they're going so hardcore.
Yeah.
Also, just thinking of like picturing a factory line for making cars. It's so fucking dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just
And
the
his?
idea. Yeah, it's his.
Yeah.
And so now you're fucking exhausted and you're working.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Tired. Right. Jesus Christ.
Tesla was repeatedly misclassifying and underreporting injuries. The Intelligencer, quote, company officials labeled toxic exposures, muscle strains, and repetitive stress injuries as personal medical issues or minor accidents requiring only first aid, lowering the official injury count.
They kind of are the Southwest. Sort of.
Elon doesn't like yellow.
What is
The
this?
song by Coldplay?
He hates that song
problem?
so much.
It's-
He hates it.
It's irritating. It's kind of pretty, but
It's
then
not great.
same thing over and over.
He hates yellow.
So yellow is the caution color. Yes.
That's why?
So they cut back on it in the factory, which
God.
is standard for safety signals. Instead, they were painted different shades of gray.
So he's trying to kill people.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. That's he does not fucking care. It's about him. I
know.
It's about
I was just gonna say,
narcissism.
the
I
amount
don't
of
want
personal
yellow.
choice
Yeah.
that he it's like X. Like when he was doing X, and he was just like, I guess you could say I like the letter X, and everyone's like, his bootlickers were like, that's amazing, but most of us were like, you are just such. Nobody gives a fuck what you like.
Yes.
Like you're not going to drag us all down to your level with that much ease.
Yeah.
It's all just this. I don't like yellow.
But also, like, why can't then, if that's so important, replace yellow with red, which is also a scary color that would make people kind of stop. The idea
Good.
of
He
putting
doesn't like red either.
gradient gray is saying, I want to cut your fingers
Yeah.
off myself,
Yes.
but I can't,
Yes.
so I'm going to let the machine cut them off.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Tesla denied all this. They said that's not true.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go.
That's fine.
I think we got ahead of ourselves. There.
Yeah.
I almost sold that car.
Yeah.
The article also said Elon didn't like having, quote, too many signs. Or the beeping on reversing forklifts.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Get out of the biz.
Yeah, what?
Dude.
The fork, what?
What do you...
What is that safety noise? He's so on the
also,
spectrum.
he doesn't work down there, right?
Yes, he does. He's all over the fucking place. He would.
I want him to die by forklift.
He would sleep in the office
So
at
bad,
the
a
factory.
reversing forklift killer.
And go down there, and yes, he's all over the fucking place. He's a control freak. Of course, he is. He's probably walking the floor. He thinks it's great. It intimidates people while he's walking around going, "Come on, hardcore!" And all it's doing is making people scared for their jobs because he's watching. Like that's what this is.
Oh my
Take
God.
down that sign.
Yeah. You guys are ignoring a gray siren again.
Why is there a sign that says "stop" here? Get rid of it. We don't stop.
Do we need the lights in the factory? I hate the lights. It's very upsetting. Let's just put sheets over the workers like they're canaries.
Jesus.
An ex-safety lead at the factory said, quote, "It's just a matter of time before someone gets killed." On top of that, there were accusations of rampant racism and sexism. Co-workers and supervisors were accused of using racial slurs. Melvin Barry, quote, "My supervisor called me the N-word right in front of other coworkers. And when I heard it, I had to make sure I heard what I heard. Dozens said they heard supervisors and managers use the N-word. Black workers were given more physical work and disciplined more. There were also references to slavery and offensive graffiti."
Oh my God.
That any other business would have been closed down, and Melvin would have owned that business.
Karen, they're saving the world.
Yeah, I think that.
I disagree.
When he did the follow up, was like, "Did you say the N-word? What did he double down?" Was he like, I did, yeah.
I'm not
Well,
sure.
it sounds like a culture where it's
a
like
culture.
supported.
Yeah, I did.
And that's fine.
All right, let's go. Super hardcore.
Fuck, man.
There's another color he hates.
So Musk people, the Musk defenders would be like, "Those were black people saying the N-word." Like that's what the story is if you want to counter the racism. But it's like, how the fuck would you know?
Well, because
Nobody fucking knows
because I'm
that.
delusional.
Yeah.
And I'm typing about it.
This is what I heard. It was on a Tesla forum.
Come on.
It's crazy the excuses people will make for this shit.
Also, can you imagine having like a favorite company or a favorite CEO, and then getting online to defend
It's
Yeah,
nuts.
no.
like
I
a
can't.
favorite?
I can't.
Well, it's the same
business
people.
person.
It's also like whenever you see like the blue checks get a pushback, and their rationale, they're just like, yeah, but I need it because now I'm able. There's never any reason. It's just that they're just like, I want him to like me. I want him to like me.
That flip of the blue checks immediately
amazing.
meaning nothing was one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah.
it made me believe in society because everybody that used to have a blue check, there were very few people that were in between. Everyone understood immediately, oh, we can't have these.
We can't have
anymore.
them.
Yeah.
No, it's been.
It's
and
now
then
a terrible
idiots-
sign.
Yeah, it really is just so. It's so ridiculous the way the whole thing of like when he was just like, man, I want my $8. You're just like, bro, fuck off.
He's like, I'll take it away. And everyone's like, that would be great because then we can delineate who's who.
And you still can. I mean,
Everything he's doing with Twitter is what the engineers said he did at Tesla to delay and make problems.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all the same shit. It's all the same shit that guy that I said was on Twitter where they had screenshots of the forum of the engineer guys. Mm-hmm. It's all the same shit.
Yeah, right.
These are his decisions.
Yeah.
This is what he's always done.
Yeah. So you have a good feeling about Twitter.
He can't have he can't have a grand.
Invest.
He has a grand idea of like. You have to give him credit for like he pushed the electric car quicker out. Now we have electric cars. That was largely because he pushed it so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But he also didn't invent Tesla.
Right.
Other guys invented it. He came in after and took it over and pushed it. And the reason Tesla became successful wasn't because of Elon Musk's idea. It was because brutal labor conditions.
Right.
Yes.
There's no other reason that Tesla became successful. It is brutal, dehumanizing labor conditions.
And because of the electric car and that he made fart noises, people are like, this guy's a genius. He's just a prick.
I will say my child was 13 when he rode in that car, and he did consider that to be the greatest thing that ever happened in a car.
Well, is that the demo for a vehicle?
It might be.
Kind of is. But also, I have to say that before the Twitter takeover and all the things when we started realizing what was actually happening, I got a Tesla. And the way that car goes from 0 to 70 miles an hour.
We have electric cars. It's crazy.
It's my favorite. I thought it would be the inverse for electric cars.
Yeah, no.
Oh, me
and
too.
Learning everything about it and just being like, oh, I can get any electric car. It'll do the same thing is great.
Well, that's the thing about electric cars is you get in one and you drive one and you go, oh, gas cars are fucking like they're dumb, lame things.
Yeah.
Oh, I go to gas stations still, and I'll pull my car up, and then I'll take the thing out, and I'll go, I don't even need this. I really showboat. I do a lot of showboating.
Okay, so SolarCity decides they need to make panels because China is slowing down the export of panels. They're going to start using panels for their own,
This is
needs.
the C story in this.
It's so funny. Whenever you
it's a
hear
C.
SolarCity, I'm like, oh, right, SolarCity.
Those guys.
Yeah.
It
The cousins.
It comes back.
Okay.
So now SolarCity's like, they have to like start making panels, which is not what they do. An industry executive quote, it's like a car dealer saying it's suddenly going to make cars.
Oh, my God.
Elon Musk was chairman.
Oh, God.
Big swing, right? So he's taking one of his big swings again. SolarCity bought a panel manufacturer. Then New York State got in because Cuomo was very excited to have Elon Musk as part of this thing.
Good guy.
And promised $75 million for a new factory in Buffalo. So SolarCity gets a 10-year lease for $1 a year.
What?
They just had to provide jobs, a specific number of jobs, and then they said like we'll end up spending like $5 billion over the 10 years in the state. The debt, however, because again they're leasing, the debt of SolarCity is just increasing. Goldman Sachs said it's the worst positioned company in solar.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Goldman Sachs is a client of Elon Musk. The company then offers something called solar bonds. You want to be part of the future? Buy solar bonds. No one buys them because they're fucking nonsense.
Sure.
So SpaceX buys $255 million of solar bonds.
The best. We're looking for a rube. My other company will buy them.
I'm a Rube.
I'm an idiot. I'm Elon's other company. We're interested. We actually love this Musk guy.
Elon puts in $75 million. He has to take out a big line of credit to do that. So he's got these big debts going on. Elon borrows against Tesla and SolarCity stock. SpaceX and Tesla and SolarCity are all supported by huge government subsidies. According to the LA Times, at this point in the story, in 2015, they have received $4.9 billion in subsidies.
Jesus Christ.
So it's space, renewable energy, and cars, making cars?
It's renewable energy, but it's the car thing is huge in subsidies because all of these states have tax credits and stuff, and we'll get into that a bit more. But yeah, they're getting
part 3.
You're
not doing anything tonight, are you?
Wait, I have You're
here all night.
I have to eat
It's a
dinner.
14-hour podcast.
Part 4.
Ultra hardcore.
We're gonna really get into that in part 4. You're gonna love it.
We're saving the world, Karen.
Yeah.
SolarCity stock plunges in February 2016. They are burning through cash. They burned through $659 million in the first quarter of 2016.
That's mostly red vines.
Yeah. What are you guys doing with all the red vines in there?
I don't know. We're just stressed out.
We use them as straws when you bite the... Shut up! Stop telling me the straw thing.
Saving the turtles.
Jesus, oh my God, this guy again.
Elon then suggests to the Tesla board that Tesla should buy SolarCity.
Oh.
Interesting. Have you guys heard of this place? Elon, we're very aware of what's going on.
Well, he owns 20% of both companies.
We need to get those glands back in his head, see what that does.
He also has tons of friends on the Tesla board, obviously.
Friends.
Some who own SolarCity stock. But the board says no, and they say no twice. But the real problem here was Elon always has to be a success. He's the brand. A failed SolarCity can really be a ding and used against him. And in May 2016, Tesla agrees to buy SolarCity, taking on $3 billion worth of debt.
God.
It's so much money.
What the fuck?
$3 billion worth of debt.
This guy could just have cashed out at some point with such ease.
He had $180 million.
I mean, even after that, wouldn't he have been able to be worth more? I mean,
maybe, I don't know. This
but
is
the idea
all
that
very...
he's like trying, it's like if Bernie Madoff had Bernie Madoff as a client.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, he keeps pyramid scheming himself.
He's like the Dr. Death back surgeon that just kept doing back surgeries when he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
We're just like, one more, give me another shot.
Yeah.
It has
I'll
that
show ya.
vibe. We're just like, human carnage, I don't care.
Yeah. Elon doesn't tell anyone that the solar modules made in Buffalo are going to cost 20% higher than any other solar company.
In a good way.
So they're selling a product that's going to cost way more.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he still has to get shareholders to agree. So he holds this weird media event on the set of Desperate Housewives on the Universal lot.
What the fuck are you talking
You
about?
cannot tell me Mark Cherry's in on this. He would never.
Oh my
He would
God.
never.
I
What?
thought he was. So everyone says the people who are like in the field and everybody who watched this says it's one of the most bizarre things you'll ever see. It doesn't make sense.
Well, it's a bizarre setup.
It's everything
in
about
the
it.
show?
No, it's on the
he's
set.
just on the set.
in front of the houses, like these houses.
Oh, it's like summertime. They're off season.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's
Yes.
gone, and they're like, we can
So
go
now
in
it's
there.
time for desperate CEOs.
He talks about global warming and says the houses behind him have a new revolutionary product called Solar Roof.
Are you talking about the set of the fake world Desperate Housewives?
They put them on the houses. So they're shingles.
Who? I mean,
so it's a new
This
type.
is how you know he has no real friends. He was like, and then we can go to like the set of desert people. Like, for sure.
Yep.
You're saying that. Sorry, Elon. I just want to bottom line this before we actually sign off on this. You want to put SolarCity panels on the set of the Desperate Housewives houses to hold an event? Yeah, that's right. Great. Just want to make sure that's awesome. That's a really good call.
And then we take them back off because the studio says we have to
Right?
return everything to exactly the way
Yes.
it was before we start.
Before we start shooting, because you
Either-
can't all of a sudden new
Because
roof.
they don't live in SolarCity now.
Yeah, they're not making a deal with the studio
No.
that makes the show
No,
to
he's
say,
renting-
"Will all these houses have
Yeah, right,
solar?"
right.
Like that's the deal. That would be worth.
Yeah, there's a tie-in.
That'd be cool.
They're not real houses.
Oh, stop. Stop.
Well, the inside of the ones on Warner Brothers are because
Yeah, that's true. yeah.
they're like little. They're just offices that look like houses.
Yeah.
I'm
on the
living in
outside.
one of those.
Yeah, what?
Go
What
ahead.
happened?
Huh? This guy screwed me.
We'll talk about it later.
He just wants to live in the water.
Dave,
everything.
He stole all your podcast money and put it into surfing.
Yeah.
Oh.
He has
Big
5
sick.
boards.
5 boards. I do have 5 boards. So he comes out and he says these shingles will make energy. So it's not. You see solar now. You see the panels, right?
Yes.
The big panels. Well, these are actual shingles.
Shingles?
I remember they came out, and I was like, "That's actually
be
kind of
amazing.
cool."
It's a good
Yeah.
idea.
But insanely expensive. Like you can't afford it.
Well,
It's
that's a problem for me.
I can.
Like it's like $70,000 compared to like 20 or 30 or something.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
I like to
Well, I
pay
didn't know
more
you
for
had
my
to throw it
shingles.
around.
Yeah, thank
I've
you.
always been.
I got the vax, so I'm not going to get them.
Elon says they will be cheaper than a regular roof.
Sir.
Honestly, sir, it's so Trump.
It
It's
is.
so Trump.
It's just say anything.
Yeah.
at any
Yeah,
time.
he says a lot of stuff, but it's just fucking bullshit. It's just like people who watch this are like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. One exec who has spent years in solar is watching this and said, quote, "I was flabbergasted. I was convinced in the moment that the shingles were fake." He goes and starts a Twitter handle at Tesla Charts, just ripping apart and exposing the nonsense of Elon. That becomes a movement. There's now these groups online, I think it's called Tesla Charts Q or something, and they just tear apart anything that he does and break down why it doesn't work. It's a huge thing. Tallulah and Elon get divorced again after 3 years. They only made it 3 this time. First time was 1, so they're getting better. So maybe next
Four
time.
total.
Yeah, maybe
Another
next
X.
time it'll be
Yeah.
6 or whatever.
He loves exes.
He loves exes.
He does
He
love
loves
Loves exes.
In December 2016, Elon tweeted that he hated traffic and was going to build tunnels. Then he
Yeah.
tweeted, quote, I'm actually going to do this. And he launched the Boring Company.
Gopher Boy. What?
Boring Company, as in boring tunnels.
Uh-huh.
But also, clearly, he's having fun with the name.
He thinks
And we're
that's
all
funny.
having
He thinks
fun.
it's
It's
We're
so
all-
funny.
It's really
It's great.
funny.
It's really funny. It's
Yeah.
the kind of comedy I wish I could achieve.
Yeah. That's great.
So he's going to dig tunnels.
Hold on. Let me catch my breath. All right, now go.
He tweeted in July that Boring had, quote, a verbal government approval to begin building a Hyperloop between D.C. and New York. And the media goes fucking nuts.
I mean, the way that the government is just funding this madness.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, no.
Soon after, he tweets, quote, still a lot of work needed to receive formal approval, but I am optimistic that will occur rapidly. So it's not happening.
You don't want to live in tube land.
At Representative Maxine Waters, like he's just trying to get a hold of some governmental somebody.
He just made it up.
Yeah. That's so good.
Love to hear from you, Tommy Tuberville, or whatever that guy's name is.
You don't want to live in a world of Tuberville.
They bought a secondhand boring machine.
What? I'm sorry?
So this is the revolutionary thing. They bought a secondhand,
Boring machine?
yeah, a tunnel boring machine.
Is that the gigantic drill you
Yeah,
drive
it goes-
forward?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they
good.
bought a secondhand one.
Keep going.
Why did they sell it?
Yeah, that's a great
that's a good question.
Like,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
want
They were
one of
probably
those
like-
that's kind of broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's going to buy it?
Yeah.
Put it out in the yard. That's crazy.
$2 billion?
Yeah.
Is it a,
Does that
is it a
sound
garage
good?
sale?
Yeah.
What's that thing over there?
That'll take you to the center of the earth. But also, we have some ashtrays we don't use anymore. So whatever you're after.
They named it Godot.
Waiting.
Oh, we'll get there. The title character from Samuel Beckett's play about a man who never shows up. Governor Hogan of Maryland jumps on this. Comes out to L.A., visits, takes a look. A few months later, Maryland has a permit for the tunnel and can pay for it. They are ready to go. Boring just needs to get to work. Boring, the company, just needs to come out and start working. It's all ready to go. And they waited for Godot. You cannot tell me that is an accident that they named it that.
No, couldn't be.
There's no fucking way in hell. They know what they're doing.
So it's just all for
It's
show.
ways to take money from the government in a fake way. Obviously, those agreements are about something else.
Well,
If he's actually
you-
getting money.
If you are going to pretend to build the tunnel, what's not being built?
The Hyperloop. Or the
Light rail.
the light rail, yeah.
Light rail.
Which is again, wow, fucking A.
So it's just to fuck the average person over.
Yeah, so
to
that he can make
divert.
money for
He
Tesla.
hates public transportation.
Right.
But what's the Maryland governor, whoever agreed to that?
Because to the government,
It's real.
cheaper. It's cheaper than light rail.
And they believe
It's
in
quicker.
this idiot.
It's easier. This guy's going to get it all
He really
done.
thought it was real? Like,
They all
he
think
was
it's
like,
real.
yeah.
There's tons of people doing this.
Right.
There's tons of places that have bought on with the Boring Company. Quote, Boring, quote, pledged to solve soul-destroying traffic. It could design tunnel boring machines so fast that it will drive down costs and shake up the industry. When a city planned light rail or some sort of rail, suddenly Boring Company was there to underbid the project. Cities jumped. Chicago wanted one. O'Hare to downtown, the Ontario Airport in California, Hollywood to Dodger Stadium. These were all projects that were supposed to happen. But Elon hates public transportation, calling it a pain in the ass, not wanting to be on in a tube with other people. He doesn't want to be in a car with other people. He doesn't want to have anything to do with other people. He says it's gross. What he wanted was tunnels with fast, individual electric cars or pods. It's the rich guy's idea of public transportation.
oh, it's like the subway if you got your own car.
Yes.
Little, yeah.
And
a little
fast.
pod.
Completely inefficient, not what is needed. And specifically, Mr. I'm going to save the world from climate change is the exact opposite of what is needed for climate change.
Yeah.
We need trains.
Also, it's like reading one science fiction book and then being like, here's my idea.
Yeah.
It's a like borrowed, boiled down, dumb person's version of that, of like good science fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where individualized pods underground. Why don't you have them float in the fucking air?
Yeah. It's like Stupid Tron. We'll just slingshot them underground.
In 2017, Jose Moran, a Tesla factory employee, went public that he was leading an effort to unionize Tesla.
Oh, boy.
He said workers were constantly getting hurt due to working long hours on unsafe machines, and they made less than other auto workers. Quote, I often feel like I am working for a company of the future under working conditions of the past. The harassment of Moran and others began the very next day as they handed out leaflets at the factory. Soon, Elon was discussing moving Moran and his guys with him to management so they couldn't unionize.
That's weird. I would think he'd be pro-union. That is some dry wit.
You know, how he saw modeled in the emerald mines as he was growing up.
Right. The famous unions of the emerald miners.
In 2018, Elon became the richest person on Earth.
Oh, it's just so fucking gutting that this fucking guy...
Yeah.
It's just that's why the system of favoring money as far as your worth or your intelligence is the dumbest.
Yeah.
Because it really just favors...
it favors the evil, the worst.
Yeah.
It just gives the worst.
It favors sociopaths. Like
It really does.
And then they get to redo their image. I mean, Bill Gates is the ultimate example of
Yeah.
just a sociopath who then was a villain in the 90s and then spent, the next decades redoing his image. And now everyone's like, he's great.
Yeah.
Well, not my QAnon friends who know for a fact. They know what's right about him.
Yeah. That's Epstein's inside of that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in that way, sure.
I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, okay. Then not in that way.
So he became the richest
I went
person.
to his island 2 times. Leave me alone.
He became the richest person when he got a $50.9 billion pay package from Tesla. Some shareholders sued,
What
quote,
the fuck?
Musk exploited his control of Tesla and the board of directors to secure the compensation to fund his personal ambition to colonize Mars.
It's just, I mean, these are all things that you sort of, a lot of this, like the Cliff Notes. But this whole thing, like, the fact that it's been normalized now that it's like, he's going to try to colonize Mars. Like, he's just a fucking idiot.
It's so wild. And it does it's like this, it's like him naming everything X, where it's just kind of like this same thing over and over.
Yeah,
Same
right.
thing over and over.
It is Tube World in a weird way.
Yeah, it really is. He took us to Tube Land.
Yeah, he really did.
You see the same now you see the same pattern.
Yes.
When you list it out
He
and
says
take
a
it down,
bold thing, then gets money to try to achieve it, doesn't, but he somehow makes money because the grift is pretty good and he's a fucking shithead.
It's like what he did calling CNN to say, come watch me buy this McLaren.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what are you talking? Like, we were so confused at that part where it was like, why would that ever happen? And it's like, because he knows he has that rich people's education. He knows optics. It's all about optics. Who gets the story out first? Who says it loudest? Who gets so-and-so to repeat it? Like all that weird shit that people who are raised by civil servants are like, huh?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, totally.
It's fucking, wow.
So shareholders sue. Now the shareholders are like, I believe, I might be wrong about this, but I think it's like, pensions and stuff like that. Like,
so whatever.
people.
Not stuff you need.
but Elon's friend with board members. He vacations with the board members. Plus Kimball's on the board. Elon tweeted, quote, nothing stopping Tesla team at our car plant from voting union. Could do tomorrow if they wanted. Why pay union dues and give up stop auctions for nothing? Our safety record is 2 times better than when plant was UAW and everybody already gets health care. Soon after, he was ordered to delete the tweet by a judge.
Oh my God. I did not know that was possible. I did not know that a judge could be like, look, delete that.
Look, man.
Legally, the jury finds that you have to delete the tweet. It's that bad that you have to delete the tweet. We sentence you got to get rid of the tweet. I mean, it's just so wrong. Just such bullshit.
You can't lie that much on Twitter.
Yeah,
You understand what it takes for someone to tell you that your tweet is too full of shit? You legally have to delete your bullshit. It's that bullshit.
God damn.
Like Trump's on there just like, yeah, don't worry, Obama, he's a Muslim, and the legal system's like, I mean, go ahead.
It's free. It's
I mean,
free speech.
yeah, but Elon can't tweet that.
Well, there's really strict rules about union and what you can do.
Well.
The National Labor Relations Board found that Tesla unlawfully interrogated workers trying to unionize, threatened them with loss of stock options, illegally fired one, and disciplined another one over union activity, and forbid workers from talking to the press. Tesla, besides deleting the tweet, had to back pay, rehire the worker, remove disciplinary records, and put up a notice of Tesla's labor violations at its California plant for workers to read.
Well, but the whole thing there, too, is like that basically has become the model of how you break unions, of how you break like union organization. I mean, that has been replicated over and over again by like Starbucks, by Amazon. That's basically the model.
Well, I guarantee. I mean, I don't know for sure, but probably immediately called up the Pinkertons, or Raven, and they came in and did their shit. This is what it sounds like.
But what's really cool, and not to sound like a dipshit, but it makes me very happy how young people know about labor law these days and union stuff in a way that, like, in 2008, no one gave a shit. We were on a strike for 4 months. It was unpopular, if not just like your problem, whatever. Yeah. And these days, and I think it's absolutely beautiful, like young people would know those labor violations. Yeah. There's a lot of people who know, especially California labor law, which is so fucking intense and like so powerful. Like everybody is getting hip to all this shit. Yeah. And it's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It changes
great. We're
everything.
still going to have to cut his head off.
Yeah, we're going to cut his head off.
I mean,
huh?
What?
Any one of them.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
So Solar Roof starts finally being produced in 2018.
Again, our C story.
According to Vanity Fair.
I'm like, all right, this is plot.
Yep.
According to Vanity Fair, sales are terrible. MIT Technology called Solar Roof a flop.
Oh.
It was discovered New York had quietly rewritten the requirements for the $750 million bonanza. Now the far fewer jobs are required of a SolarCity, and also worse jobs.
Exactly what happens when you do like a Foxconn or something like that, thing, where you just basically because to save face, because they got conned, they're now like, look, just make it look okay. Don't make it look like a dumbass. I want to get reelected.
And then several of Cuomo's people in his offices were convicted of it's fraud behind the scenes for all the Buffalo, builds and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you ever listen to that song by the Beach Boys, Cuomo, when you're surfing? That works in like 4 different bad ways.
I know. You're a terrible person. Yeah. Some Thai school kids, this reminds me of you. Some Thai school kids and their coach got stuck in an underwater cave. Mm-hmm. Elon said,
it doesn't sound like you.
Elon,
hey, let's go figure out how far does this cave go?
We're getting to the part about you.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the aquatic part, which reminds us of you. Us. We unionized.
Oh, yeah, we're together.
Yeah.
Elon said he could send a submarine to save them. A rescue diver, Vernon Unsworth, said Elon's idea was a PR stunt. So Elon called him, quote, a pedo guy. Now we're over to you.
That's me? What do you mean? I'm the pedo guy?
Yeah.
You're going nuclear, asshole. We're just poking fun at your little sandwich surf.
Whatever, pedo man.
Now I'm a pedo?
He's gone full QAnon on you.
You got to delete that tweet.
What, are you eating babies?
Really quick, though, sorry. That originally was a tweet, right?
Yes.
So Elon's tracking this terrible story that everyone was tracking on Twitter, as we used to do back then. And he was basically like, I'm going to be a part of this.
Yeah. Yes.
And not only a part of it, I'm going to be the hero. This is how you could do it. And all he's really doing is just siphoning off attention to, again, make those sycophants be like, oh, wow, he's just the best.
Look at him again. Where
he's
it's like
Tony Stark.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah. No, he didn't do it. He didn't look at the guys, the divers are down there. They're like, it's really complicated. You got to go between rocks, and it's like, it's not that thing isn't going to work. And he's just up there blustering.
Have you thought about building a tube down there?
The Boring Company will take a meeting with you now.
We could easily dig through there.
Elon then sends BuzzFeed an email claiming Unsworth was a child rapist living in Thailand so he could marry a child with absolutely no evidence.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ. That's what you just did to me, by the way.
Yeah, that's
But you're
true.
a pedo guy.
Stop it.
That's true, too.
Stop it. We're the same.
I like to play both sides against the middle.
God damn it.
Because I'm Peter Thiel in this situation.
Unsworth sues for libel.
Oh, on what grounds?
Elon,
Come on. This guy, he's just joshing you. Have a little fun, would you, guy?
Elon claims First Amendment rights and that it is obviously an exaggeration. To the absolute shock of many, the judge agrees with Elon.
Wow.
No.
I mean, come on.
The judge
Such a soft.
agrees.
I mean, come fucking on.
That's a softball.
I mean, he didn't retire. He retired soon after the judge.
The judge did?
But come fucking really?
Yeah.
Really? He called the guy. You know.
Yeah.
You know what you do in this case? You just pay it off.
Yeah, right.
You pay it off and you make it go away.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? There's no way you get to call someone a pedo and send a libelous fucking email to BuzzFeed to try to get them to write up a story on the
And
guy.
then you're okay. But that
And then
all,
you're
all that
okay?
does is that fuel that makes. I mean, he's like, well, okay, cool. I can do this sort of
That's
shit.
not what the First Amendment fucking is.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even remotely.
No, yeah.
Anyway, he won that. So I guess we're all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That year, 72-year-old Elon Musk had a child with his 30-year-old ex-stepdaughter, Jana.
But,
Let's take a pause on that one.
Hey, things got weird.
wait,
Things got weird.
what happened? One more time?
Now we're back on Elon's side.
Yeah.
72-year-old Elon's dad, Elon Musk, had a child with his 30-year-old ex-stepdaughter, Jana.
Oh my God.
Have we heard from Jana?
Jana's had some issues. Jana's had some drug addiction problems. She's definitely had some hard times up until now.
Well, I don't know if up until now.
I mean,
He's known her since she was 4.
Oh,
good
sweet
God,
bastard.
damn it.
He was married to Jana's mom for 18 years.
Oh my God.
When he talked to the press about this, he said he could barely remember Jana's mom.
Well, that doesn't help me. Ugh.
Errol.
4.
Now the deal with Elon and Errol at this point is when he got the 180 million. No, it must have been the first money. Anyway, he brings Errol and Jana out in 2002, sets them up in Malibu. They leave
Together?
but I think it's the whole group of them.
The whole family.
I know it's there. And then they bail in 2003, and Errol was like, I had to do it in secret and get my passports without anybody knowing and bail in the middle of the night. Like, he made it seem like they had to get out because they were being controlled. So whatever the fuck is going on here,
right.
It's completely bizarre. And Errol is clearly worse than anybody in the fucking story.
Yeah.
He's a monster, an absolute fucking monster. Errol said the birth led to a fallout between him and Elon.
Good.
But also, like, buddy, that had happened a while ago. But this was just like, I hate you to, oh my God, what are you?
Yes. Yeah.
Apparently, Elon doesn't approve of the relationship and thought it was a bit creepy.
Good.
For some reason.
That's good.
Yeah, it's strange to be like, good for him.
It is an interesting point to get in this story where it's like it all goes back.
It's a line.
It all goes back to the source.
Yep.
And it's coming from somewhere, and that somewhere is an unknowable terror.
Yeah.
As someone who had a terrible father, but then got a lot of fucking therapy, this is what happens when you don't get therapy.
Yeah.
That's what Elon is. And if he has gotten therapy, he's gotten a very bad one.
Yeah.
But
He
he
hasn't.
He hasn't, because you can see he hasn't, because when he goes
He
out
doesn't
and
need
talks
it.
about
It's
it,
an
he almost
admission of failure.
But he also starts crying. He almost starts crying when he talks about it. He did an interview with Rolling Stone, and he just starts crying with the interviewer. He's talking about his dad, and it's like, yeah, you haven't gone to fucking
Yeah,
therapy,
No.
dude.
No.
You haven't worked this shit out, and now you're working it out on the fucking world.
Well, and also that it's very much all those dudes that are like, I'm the alpha, you don't have a voice, blah, blah, blah. It's all the same
Yeah.
thing. And it is like that is all. You can't have gone to therapy and be talking like that. It's childish, kind of Andrew Tate pretend world of like all the phrasing even is like, this is just what 13-year-old boys are saying to each other online. You as an adult should not be like believing in a red-pilled system or whatever the fuck you're doing. Because it's not about the outside world. You need to go inward.
Yeah. You need the Robin Williams Good Will Hunting hug.
Yes.
It's not your fault. He's like,
yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
Come here, Will.
That was a low point. In a very bummer story.
That really difficult.
It really is.
Really,
fuck, man.
Yeah.
Elon settles with the SEC over a tweet in which he claimed he had funding secured to take Tesla private. Part of it, because you can't fucking say that if you're a public company. You don't just get to blurt shit like that out.
Yeah, manipulation. Yeah.
Part of the settlement requires him to get pre-approval from lawyers for certain tweets.
I mean, that's how bad you are. This is, I mean, I don't want to keep doing it, but it's so Trump.
Yes.
I mean, just the level of, like, he just says it to bullshit you, and that's...
Because he's already done it with, like, a car company where he's walked on the floor and gone, take away all the yellow. And they did it, and people got hurt, and nothing really happened, and he still gets $15 billion. So, like, then he's like, people are like, hey, stop doing those tweets. And he's like, oh, we'll see.
Yeah. The existence of a guy like this, truly is a governmental failure.
Yeah, it is. This is a governmental failure.
He is a governmental failure walking.
Also, Tesla said he didn't get rid of the yellow paint, so...
Oh, my apologies. Allegedly, my apologies.
Right.
So after he tweeted about maybe selling a large portion of his Tesla shares, the SEC subpoenaed him for violating the agreement. And Tesla's stock dropped sharply after the tweet, leading to an investigation into insider trading because Kimball had sold 108 million shares the day before.
Oh.
Well, come on. Coincidence, guy. Relax. That happens all the time. Happens to our Congress members all the time.
This is the point where I get to the point, and I'm like, okay, so that's bad, but that's what Congress does. So what in the fuck do you want me to do with this?
Yeah.
Like, this is when you're like, why? Who gives a shit at this point?
They can't do anything
They're
about
literally just insider trading all fucking day and night. So what are you doing?
Yeah. No, they've all decided instead of trying to bring it up to the other person, like, shut the fuck up, just keep doing it. Do it too. We're all doing it.
But the part I don't understand is, I mean, sure, that means he had this tweet planned a day in advance, which that alone is very sad. But you're doing a tweet that's going to highly negatively impact your own business. Right. It doesn't make sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense. But like I said, it's just blustering and nonsense. Like, he's not thinking clearly when he does this.
Except for the plan part.
Except for the plan part, but also, like, again, pensions. Mm-hmm. Like, so when it loses that much value, it's taking money away from people's retirement, like, at the end of the day.
And that's part of the plan?
No, it's just him being an idiot.
Him. Okay.
Collateral.
Yeah.
Just collateral damage.
Got it.
Elon accuses the SEC of a harassment campaign restricting his right to free speech.
Oh, for fuck's sake. And that's when these idiots are like, exactly.
Yeah, but it's just like, dude, you are in charge of a fucking company.
Yeah.
There are rules. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, there's rules, but you don't get to say whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. Why? Because the stock just dropped, you dumb asshole. What if a fucking pension company had to sell a bunch to fucking meet something the next day? Oh, now they can't. You're an idiot. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like
You're talking to me directly,
yes.
right? Okay,
yeah. So mad at you right now.
I know, he's still pissed off.
He's really mad.
He's really pushing that pedo thing on me.
When COVID hit, Elon tweeted on March 6, 2020, quote, "The coronavirus panic is dumb." I remember because it was March 17th, you and I were on the road, and I was like, we just wanted to get to the next shows, which were Seattle and Portland, and the whole time we were tracking it, and I was like...
You're like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, at the beginning of March, I was like, this is all going to get shut down. We might get to do a couple more shows, but it's going to be fucked. I told Bert Kreischer that. He's like, what?
Bert Kreischer was like, what do you mean?
And I was like,
you're going to cancel your world tour. And he's like, what? But remember, the things they were like, the things you were saying, most people are like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, I was like, sure, buddy. Anyway, do you have the hotel info? Because I really want to book that, you know?
So I knew what was going on. He's smart enough to know what in the fuck is going on. It wasn't that fucking hard. And then, sure enough, people start dying all over the place. And he changes his tune. There's a huge shortage of ventilators, like 20,000 short for what is needed. The Washington Post reported Elon
Washington
said...
Porpoise?
Here
we go with more surf stuff.
Oh, come on, Dave.
Jeez, Dave.
The Washington Post reported Elon said on Twitter that Tesla would make ventilators if needed, and he shipped 1,000 ventilators that he bought from somewhere else to hospitals, but they turned out to be the kind used for sleep apnea, not what is needed for COVID.
So we thought all those people died. Thanks for nothing. That is insane. Some of them are just props from Top Gun. We're not sure what happened.
What?
That is insane.
I remember
I mean, that's like so dumb.
I remember seeing that tweet and being like, "Oh, thank God someone's doing
Right?
it." That was the early days where we were all wiping down our cereal boxes.
Yeah.
Like if you went to the grocery store, God forbid, and everyone's so scared, no one knows what the fuck is going on. It's like people are going into the hospital, not coming out.
Yeah.
And then he fucking sends this tweet of like, "I'm on this. I'm getting these respirators," and they were fucking.
They were sleep apnea machines.
That's insane.
You know,
Yeah.
it's very, what it really is, it's like when a news organization or a paper promotes or prints something totally incorrect and then puts the retraction on page 24. Like, because you hear that and you remember that, and then you don't know that part. You don't know that what he actually sent were useless machines. But people go, he's such a magnanimous, generous individual. Look at him, so giving.
Or they'd go, hey, there's people that were snoring on the 4th floor of a lot of hospitals.
Dude. Those people never slept better. Those people never slept better. Blue check, $8 a month. People slept so good.
There were some people that were, they were useful because they can help you get a little bit of air in, but we're talking about people who needed breathing for them.
Right.
A sleep apnea machine does not do that.
Sure.
That's not what it is.
At all.
And he got into an argument like they were like, those are too intrusive. Like these are the non-intrusive ones.
That's what he was doing.
Doctors saying you don't need intrusive. Like it was that kind of shit going on.
Right. Amazing to get in the weeds of that. I gave him a bunch of Chloraseptic.
Like GM and Ford immediately made government contracts to make ventilators. So they went in and got money, and Elon said he would do it. He said Tesla would open a factory in New York to make ventilators if needed, and it never happened.
He's like a cokehead.
Well,
everything he says is like, we'll make a bunch of ventilators, and we'll open SolarCity. Maybe another.
I mean, you try to get into the psychology of it. So it's this kid who never had friends, and nobody liked him and all this stuff, but he read encyclopedias. So that's really what he is still. He's the kid coming in going, I can fix it. I know how to fix this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like everything that happens, I know how to fix it. It's like the extreme hyper crazy example of when a woman explains their problem, a man tells her how to fix it as opposed to just listening and going, okay, I see where you're at. I'm sorry you're going through that. Right? That's like the difference that happens. And this is like the hyper crazy example of it to the whole fucking country.
The alpha example of it, really.
Yeah.
Yes. To any problem that comes up. And also, it's the danger of social media. Because right then, when you guys did that little playlet, I was like, oh, those Elon Musk people who are for him and advocates of him, they're really just kind of like hopeless optimists, and they just want this to be real.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like, I see the good in this. I see what he means by this. I'm also smart, and I see what the intention is and why he keeps getting attacked for it. When it's but you're actually missing the correction, which is it was the wrong machine.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, because the label of genius is keeping you from understanding that isn't, as book smart as he might be, it's not happening in that way.
You see it too when you really are reading the blue check defenses of these.
It's crazy.
They will not concede
at all
ever.
Yeah.
You know,
Ever.
they will carry water for him endlessly. No matter, they'll carry so much water, Dave will take Graham to where they have it to go ride some sick ridgies or whatever you call them, Dave. But yeah, they really do. And then they'll get, and there's always the thing that's so funny is when they get owned, then they're just gone. You're like, well, that's it.
Which actually sounds like a bot.
Yeah,
I mean,
right, yeah.
there's got to be bots. If he has that much money, there's definitely bots out there taking up for him in that way.
There has to be. I can't imagine that there wouldn't be. I mean, well, you have to game the system. I wonder, like, we're never going to find out that shit because Twitter will just go away and we won't.
They'll have him killed, yeah.
We won't know what it is. Okay, so it's just, this whole story is just miserable.
It's motivating.
It is motivating.
I feel good.
But it's, anyway.
Happy.
So he
You feel good, right?
I feel great.
Yeah. It's
effervescent.
He then starts downplaying COVID quite a bit, getting the support of Trump and other right-wingers. On March 19th, 2020, he said by the end of April, cases would be close to zero. He praised Texas when Texas opened up in April 2020. By all the right wingers screaming about lockdown.
Oh yeah,
They should actually read I don't know, some sort of newspaper or something, because they did not fucking lock down. Anywho, sorry about your month, you fucking crybabies. When California was locked down, he threatened to move the Tesla factory to Texas or Nevada, even though he continued with expansion plans in California. Then he defied the law and reopened the plant, and Alameda County caved, even though many workers said they didn't feel safe and protested. Between May and December, there were 440 cases at the plant.
Well, to
that
be fair,
we know of.
They didn't feel safe before COVID.
Right,
either,
yeah,
so
it's just worse.
Business as usual.
Well, just think about that. Like
and they have ventilators now that they can use. I mean, sure, they might be taking little naps.
They can snap them right onto their belt buckle.
Why are you guys sleeping so much? Like the ventilator.
But yeah, if you're working in an unsafe plant and now you need the plant to be made safe from COVID, that's not the guy.
No.
In June 2020, Musk and Grimes had a baby, which they named XAEA-12, or as we remember from the Technocracy, 1X1809X56.
Oh my God.
Fucking talk about shit repeating itself, whether it's conscious or unconscious or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ, what is fucking happening with this goddamn story?
I didn't know that part.
That is crazy.
Oh my God.
That is crazy.
I mean, I saw the name and I was like, that ain't a good idea. But I didn't think like, oh yeah, that's a Technocracy callback.
That's a little salute to Grandpa, great Grandpa.
Yeah.
Right?
And his fascist leanings.
Yeah. Fucking A.
Jesus.
Elon believes smart people should have more kids to keep a, quote, replacement
And by
rate.
smart, he means white.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Right.
Guess who also believes in having children? His dad, who had a second kid with his ex-stepdaughter in 2012, which he called, quote, completely normal. The only thing we are on Earth for is to reproduce, which is now what Elon Musk is fucking saying. He's saying we're having a negative population thing going on, although we need to reproduce. It's fucking dad. Go to therapy.
Also, the negative population thing is straight out of white supremacy handbook. It's wildly.
Their reproduction is not anybody but white people. That's not what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're not worried about the planet.
Well, there is some good news.
Oh.
In 2021, Hyperloop Vegas opened.
Oh my God, yeah. The casino, right?
It's 2.8 mile one direction tunnels with their wings of the Las Vegas. They connect wings of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority.
Actual wings? Are we? What kind of wings are we?
Connects two parts of the, not actual wings. This is not real wings. The other wings were doors. These are just tunnels that
I'm gonna go out of the room, and when there's actual wings to talk about, I'd like you to let me know.
Individual Teslas are driven through tunnels just inches wider than the cars, and each ride is just under 2 minutes.
So
Hyperloop.
Hold on. And there's colored lights.
Have you been in it?
not yellow.
No, I just saw pictures, but no yellow.
No yellow.
I saw pictures. I think it was in the LA Times.
What the fuck?
And that was where that thing where I'm like, I kept reading it because I was like, what is it? But it's not, the car isn't pulled through the tunnel like magnetically so that it's not using any energy. It's not, it literally is just a tunnel to drive through.
And people wait and buy tickets.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
A Boring Company has a 50-mile contract to sell the tickets.
Oh my God.
Sorry, 50-year contract.
So it's just, it's the fakest version of
It's essentially Las Vegas's version of the Christmas light show that they do in Griffith Park. You know, and you kind of drive through it, and it's like brought to you by SoCal Edison or whatever. And it's just like a reindeer that kind of moves.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, but
it's like
a tunnel.
Float, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Exactly. It's just like well-used
And then
lights.
people are like, "Yo, we're gonna get on the future machine."
Yeah. I mean, they did it in Vegas because desert land is the very easiest to build tunnels in. Boring says it can dig 7 miles a day of tunnels, and they will revolutionize tunneling. Wall Street Journal, quote, veterans of the tunneling industry note that tunnel boring machines have been electrified for decades, and neither continuous construction of the tunnel lining nor digging in from above ground is new. Digging tunnels is not about speed. It's about the complexity of what's underground. Mm-hmm. And he just decided because he was mad at traffic and he fucking tweeted that. And now this is what's happening.
Also, you know, I'm going to base this on cartoons, which I think he does too. Sometimes there's skeletons underground. Sometimes there's treasure.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
Sometimes there's, you know, like a valuable ring.
Albuquerque too. You're trying,
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it. You're gonna get yourself into quite a little predicament if you're not careful, bunny.
Godot never came to Maryland. In 2021, Boring just deleted the project from its website.
Wow.
Oh.
It appears to be a company just created to stop rail projects. But just last year, VC firms invested $675 million into Boring. It's valued at $5.7 billion.
Ridiculous.
None of the projects have started.
Just ridiculous.
Did I mention that he hates public transportation?
Just ridiculous.
But
the value. I mean, that's crazy.
it's like we're finding out in this two-part dollop that what Elizabeth Holmes did was conservative and reasonable and basically standard.
She didn't aim high enough.
She didn't, and she didn't go for it in the way that all the boys are doing it in Silicon Valley because basically everything is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and NFTs. And it's
Juicero.
Yeah, right.
It's just a bunch of lies and bullshit
Fake,
and getting
doesn't matter.
Some bros to give you some of the money from
Money
their
for
company.
your dumb thing.
I mean, this is what business has always been. I mean, if you go through the Dollop, it's like guys acting like a mine is worth a ton and it's nothing. Like it's just over and it's just a grift. It's just bilking people of fucking cash.
But I guess the mine thing, though, at some point you go in the mine, you're like, oh, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like this feels like you never get to see the inside of the mine.
It just feels like eventually this will just go away. I mean, if it was real, they would have started building it in places like Maryland. They would have started building it one place. Yeah. Just one place they would have started. Because they have contracts like, you know, Chicago and all these other places. It's not happening anywhere.
But the thing I think is amazing about the tunnels and the Boring Company is that it is just a single car tunnel with no space.
Right.
So if there's somehow an accident in this tunnel.
Oh my God.
With a car that catches on fire.
and splits in half.
Oh my God.
Splits in half.
Oh my God. You'd just be like farting, like, help, 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 hit the fart button, help, help, help.
Someone's in trouble.
Help, danger, danger, danger.
No, this is serious. Stop farting. It's serious.
I can't stop it farting. Guys, there's a fire
Get
down
the
here.
fireman down there.
There's a fire. Oh, God damn it. I just wish I could stop the farter. Here, open the glove compartment. It doesn't fucking open.
I don't want to karaoke right now.
Okay, come on, everybody. We didn't start the fire. It was always... Oh, my God. Keith's on fire. Keith is now on fire.
Also, the thing about those electric cars, I don't know if you read about it, but they're like, they fuck shit up. Like they're having a hard time putting out the fires. It just gets so crazy hot. It burns through the road. Like it's a total shit show. So you can do that in a tunnel? Okay. Like it doesn't make any sense.
It does for Vegas, somehow.
It makes sense for a guy.
Somehow for Vegas, it seems to make sense.
I mean, he really sold the idea of like Los Angeles would just be a whole town of just tunnels and we'll all drive in tunnels.
And everyone was like...
But imagine, but that's only electric cars. Are you going to drive down there in a fucking regular car with all the fumes coming out. It's just for electric cars.
It's just for electric
Well,
cars.
how could you do it there's not vents for a regular, how could you do this with
Hot box the middle of the earth.
Also, how could you do it anyway? It's a one-way fucking tunnel. It's a one-way tunnel.
Oh my
it
God.
doesn't take your electric car into it and then, we're going to use magnets to pull you in and make you go. It's just you driving in a tunnel.
Yeah. It's really crazy.
Meerkats do it better and quicker.
In 2022, Elon offered to buy Twitter for $44 billion, then tried to back out. So Twitter sued, and he countersued, saying he was misled, and the $44 billion was an inflated rate. He claimed Twitter didn't do enough to weed out things like fake spam, bot accounts, and their verification process wasn't thorough. The CEO tweeted details of how they police spam accounts, and Elon replied with a poo emoji.
It's so funny to think of him flagging their verification system.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Like, that was one of his gripes.
That was one of his gripes. And it turns out it was the only thing really working really well over there.
And instead he's just, he's giving all these idiots, it's amazing.
He lost. He had to buy Twitter.
It's like a sitcom pilot.
Wait.
You, billionaire, have to buy Twitter, you idiot.
It literally is. Because now I want to skip to, I'm going to steal this line from you. His day one at Twitter when he walked in holding the kitchen sink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I am pretty disconnected with many things intentionally.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that, and my whole spine,
yes.
the cringe that I was doing, it just wouldn't end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you didn't do it, Karen. You're fine.
Yeah.
You're here in Los Angeles. You didn't do that. And it was just like, so I was
It was like a natural
It's like-
disaster.
oh my God.
It's like when your friend, you're starting out in comedy, your friend has a really big fucking showcase, and they get Letterman or whatever, and they go up and they just tank, and they're eating it, and you're just like, that feeling of just like dread and horror. That's
Yes.
what it felt like watching him walk in. You're
It
just
was
like,
really
Yes.
bad.
this is a guy embarrassing himself on a level he doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand it, and he thinks and believes, which I'm sure he's read about all this at this point, but it is that innocence of like, I got my money and I'm going to do this now, and you're going to fucking love it because you've loved it in the past and I've gotten away with it in the past, and it's like, it's not the fucking past. And this is like a new level.
It is so public.
So public.
But it also is such a perfect, if you really had to kind of condense it all down into a photograph of what this experience, it is like, that is basically what the experience has been.
Yeah.
A shithead with too much money walking in with a dumb joke that doesn't work and making everyone feel uncomfortable.
And the plan to ruin all of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, now you just don't get to have this one fucking thing that got you through like COVID or whatever of like, oh, well, at least there's these smart people and I can, at least I
know
can
who
read.
I follow.
Yeah,
And I can call it
Substacks.
and cater it to myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Tesla was fined $275,000 in 2022 by the EPA. Tesla is a repeat violator of air pollution limits. In 2019, the EPA fined Tesla $31,000, and they had to pay $55,000 to the Fremont Fire Department for at least 4 fires that happened in the Tesla paint shop. Oh, and in 2021, Tesla was fined $1 million by the Bay Area Air Quality Management District for 33 violations. Oh, my God. Tesla has been issued 42 environmental violations between 2017 and 2020. By the way, he's saving us from climate change.
Yeah, I mean, all the good vibes of having an electric car.
It just doesn't matter.
It's absolutely a race.
Yeah.
Last month, the U.S. Justice Department announced it is pursuing SpaceX for discriminating against refugees in its hiring practices. Elon said in an interview that the U.S. should, quote, get rid of all federal subsidies, just delete them all. Environmental regulations require car companies not meeting emission standards to pay fines or buy credits from other companies that are complying with the rules. No one had more credits to sell than Tesla. Between 2008 and 2019, sales of regulatory credits brought Tesla over $2 billion. Tesla would not have survived without government credits. It wasn't until the second quarter of 2021 that Tesla reported more income than it got from regulatory credit sales.
Well,
So
that's great.
Tesla wouldn't exist without this credit plan to try to push companies to build more electric vehicles. So he's just buying the credits of companies that are not doing that, and he's acting as if he is reinventing the wheel and doing all this shit when it's essentially just been, up until 2021, a grift. He benefited from COVID more than any fucking human being. His company would be totally fucked without all that shit.
Without working through COVID and
Without Tesla took off during COVID because all of a sudden, I don't know what exactly the reasons were, but during COVID, the whole fucking company just skyrocketed.
Not X-rocketed, though, because then it would have
It
crashed.
did not X-rocket. But yeah, so the company exists because of government regulations, and then he's up there saying, get rid of all federal subsidy, blah, blah. That's what he's making money from.
Yeah.
so he's basically saying he's trying to pretend he wants small government, like
Yeah,
he's
right.
trying to be the classic,
He's doing
whatever
both,
that
right.
political stance is.
He's saying private companies can do better than anybody else. Private companies are the answer.
Wow.
Subsidies aren't needed while just existing because of a government credit for EVs.
Sorry, I don't get that idea where you can buy credits from other companies.
Well, it's a bullshit capitalist answer to climate change, but it's
so then, and do they still count if you buy them, if he buys them from Hyundai?
they buy them from Tesla. So he has made a certain number of Teslas, and Toyota has made none.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Toyota now needs 200, as if they sold 200,000 cars under EV. You know? So now they have to go to Tesla and go, can I buy 200,000 credits from you? And now they're
That
okay. It doesn't do anything for climate change. It's absolute bullshit.
No, but I mean, also, why is it allowed? Or like, how is that?
Why?
Because
Yeah.
it's a trying to force that other company to start making EVs. They want to force the companies not making EVs to make EVs. That's what it's about.
Wouldn't just fining them do it?
Yeah.
Or you kind of can't do that?
I don't
Sorry,
know if
this
you.
is
I didn't.
boring.
I honestly,
it's not.
No, it's not.
all
It's a good
dumb.
discussion to
I mean,
have.
it's
It's like, but this is the kind of
is
stuff where
confusing.
it gets into like greenwashing and are these policies actually doing anything? And you would say no. Like
they're
it's
just
not like
biding their time.
No, it's just giving Tesla extra money because people are going to buy those Teslas anyway.
Yeah.
Like Tesla just got money from other companies. That's how they survived.
Right.
Off these government credits. Like it's a version of welfare.
It
Is there
is-
more?
Not much more. According to
Stop, sir. No more.
According to the information, SpaceX has earned $15.3 billion from the government since 2003. So they're just mostly
Unreal.
government contracts and stuff that they get to just, he doesn't like the government and subsidies, and at the same time, he's just getting government contracts that from the government that are largely always overblown. It's the government. They always pay too much. Right?
Yeah.
His ownership of Twitter has been a mind-boggling disaster. Gobs of people were immediately fired, violating labor laws in different countries. CNN explained why workers on foreign worker contracts, HB1 visas, were especially vulnerable. Quote, they have a limited window of time to find a new employer, adjust to another visa, or leave the U.S. The 60-day grace period starts from the last day of employment. So those people couldn't go anywhere. Other people can quit Twitter and go find another job, but they're fucking stuck. And so those are the people he makes work 18-hour days.
Right.
He's converting offices into rooms for people to sleep in. The city had to come in and say, no, you're absolutely not allowed to do that. That's illegal. But he's wanting them to sleep in the offices and work. And that's who he can do it to.
Because they're fucked if they aren't
Does it
working.
remind you of any sort of government that he grew up under?
No. Oh, shit.
While championing free speech, because they're all fucking from
Yeah.
you go look at them, they're not white guys. All those faces, you see the pictures, all these people he's doing it to. They're
And
not
then he's like, look at my diverse workforce.
While championing free speech, he has suspended leftists like Chad Loader.
From MTV?
Kurt.
Oh, fuck. God damn it.
Chad
You're lucky that I'm a bigger nerd. That was close for you.
Chad is a Southern California reporter and cyber security expert who goes by they. Right-wing activist pretending to be journalist Andy, I don't know, say Andy Ngayo? Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably, I would think. Andy Ngayo, who has ties to violent right-wing groups, began pointing out to Elon who to suspend. Loader has been very active in identifying and exposing the actions of Southern California Nazis. After Ngayo pointed out Loader, an internal Twitter message was sent out regarding Loader's account. Quote, suspension, direct request from Elon Musk. This was the beginning of Twitter becoming a right-wing cesspool, using free speech as an excuse to allow hate and getting rid of leftist smart voices.
Yeah.
Twitter's suspended accounts were unsuspended, including ones like blatant fascist Nick Fuentes. Kanye returned for a bit to yell about the Jews, etc., on and on. Advertisers fled because they don't want to see, like, the Jews are bad next to, like, buy a Toyota.
Right.
Mm-hmm. As did users. Twitter stopped paying rent on its San Francisco offices. In July, he threatened to sue the Center for Countering Digital Hate, a nonprofit that conducts research on social media, accusing them of making, quote, a series of troubling and baseless claims that appear calculated to harm Twitter generally and its digital advertising business specifically. As of this recording, Elon has said he will sue the ADL for trying to get advertisers to leave Twitter. This should happen, though. This absolutely should happen because Discovery would allow us to see how truly fucking stupid he has been with his ownership of Twitter.
Right.
So which means he won't do it, which means it's probably a Trump thing.
He can't do it. He literally cannot. He cannot sue the ADL.
The idea
Look,
of
the ADL
of suing the ADL over what they've said about you, it's just...
So it's going to lead to very bad things, suing the ADL.
Yeah.
I think the ADL is a monstrous organization, right? They're the one who attack people who are like, Palestinians should live.
Yeah.
But they also are a pretty strong voice against anti-Semitism. So what happens immediately is on Rising, I think it was yesterday, the day before. So Rising there's Brianna Greyjoy, who's a leftist, and then this fucking piece of
weird
shit. Libertarian guy. And that guy, for 20 minutes, just starts explaining why the ADL has done all this shit and made up all this stuff. And it's just, you're watching it, and it's just teetering on this gross anti-Semitic explanatory fucking garbage. But it was fucking gross. It made my skin crawl like nothing I have seen in a while. And that is what happens when guys like this do this. Twitter isn't fucking failing because the ADL is pointing out to advertisers. No. Twitter is failing because you have fucking hate speech all over the goddamn site.
Yes.
Attacking trans people, attacking, gays, fucking anybody. They're just attacking people. They're fucking fascist pieces of shit. On top of all this, Elon has a trans kid who has written him off. And part of that is why he's swinging right. Like, he's got all these anti-trans opinions now because he has a fucking trans kid who swore him off.
But he also, I think, this swinging right option that we've seen lots of people do in the last 10 years, surprisingly, where it's like, it's such a weird part of our culture now that's it's ratcheted everything up so intensely, where like online discourse, it doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's garbage.
Like the idea that there is any of it when there are these, like everyone's just taking these camps, and a lot of people are just picking like the camp that like their bros are at, or the camp that they think will make them feel better or something.
And I mean, I think when you look at the entertainers who go there, I mean, having all of us been in this business and struggled, like they just are going where the heat is.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, this is where I get the follows, the likes, the clicks, the engagement, the money, all that stuff. And that really just always does come down to this. It's just the dumbest system when it's like, if you have the most money, you win.
Yeah.
And I always think that because I'm like, there's no way. I mean, it's sometimes it's so hard to tell what do these people actually believe and what are they simply doing just because it keeps them
especially with
relevant.
Comedians.
Yes.
Yeah, comedians have become I mean, I'm sure we've all seen it like you were alluding to, like over and over again, where you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like there is this whole thing of like, you're getting canceled for what you can and can't say. But it's just like, that's not true.
Right.
Like, you're really pretty much able to say whatever you want. If people are opposed to it, well, then, yeah. But you're like, I'm in the crosshairs. I'm fighting for your fucking freedoms. And it just seems to be so effective because, sort of what you were even saying before about those blue checks who support him. There's just this thing that's missing, and it's been taken away. And it's this hole, and they're figuring out ways to fill it with,
to justify
to exploit it,
to kind of rationalize it, and to basically say, no, it's not that I have no self-reflection, no self-accountability.
Yeah.
It's not that I have a huge father wound or a mother wound that I can't acknowledge or whatever.
Yeah.
It's that I'm a hero.
Yeah.
Fighting for your right to be able to be racist publicly, which is like, it doesn't add up.
No.
It isn't a smart way to go. And it also is perfectly syncs up with the then exposed bad behavior of, like, say, any of these comedians we could be thinking about right now, where it's like, then it is exposed that they were dating a 15-year-old or whatever fucked up thing. And it's like, and we're right back to how, like, our rights now and being canceled. Can you believe this shit? And it's all
and it's working in a way that's...
is it working? It's like...
Well, it kind of is. I mean, it feels like people are...
It depends who it is.
Yeah, but there's certainly a number that I can think of who you're like, you don't, like, it shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And yet it seems at times to be thriving in ways. I don't know.
Or it's just where we know now where there is contention and anger and, like, fighting, that is where attention goes.
Yeah, totally.
It's like it's either the cutest kitten in the world or two people starting a fist fight in a parking lot.
Yeah. Or even when you watch, like, news or something, it's like that, it's all falling under that idea of point, counterpoint, where it's like, well, yeah, I don't really need to see, like, a guy who sympathizes with Nazis debate a person who's just a little more rational.
Right.
Like, that there's not real, I don't need that opinion out there.
And it isn't ever a debate, because no smart person would ever engage in that.
Right.
It's always the people that are like, I have the right to not wear a mask and scream in your face and take over the school board and all these different fucking things.
Yeah.
And that is also, in my opinion, those people, home alone, retired, divorced, kids don't talk to them, only getting one feed of like fear and anger all the time, and then they're basically going out into the world going, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I'm at my last, I'm on my last leg. Or if it's the comics we're talking about, it's like, I'm not relevant anymore, and I can feel it, and I can tell the difference, and the kids don't like me, and young people don't like me, and young girls don't like me, and now you're going to pay.
Yep.
And it's the same vibe across the board, where it's like, look, everybody normally does this slowly and at their own pace, and whenever some fucking fucked up thing happens in their life, you'll get your therapy when you have that, like, horrible fight with your parents, or you have that divorce or whatever. But these are entertainers who live as, Peter Pan lives for so long that they never have to do it. So now they finally, it's just the reckoning of time, where it's just like, This is where we're at. Like, you can't deny it anymore. You can't cool your way out of it. You can't scream your way out of it. You can't write your way out of it. And suddenly you don't realize that you're one of the Proud Boys. You don't realize you're at fucking January 6th. Yeah. You're just fucking there because you wanted to be where the people were who were making you feel like you used to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Musk is such a perfect encapsulation of all that, kind of like forced into one person.
Yeah, because it's like he knows the trick is that, I have the right to say what I want. You can't step on my rights. It's all that. While that's all he does is step on other people's rights.
And he's at times the richest man in the fucking world.
Yeah, I mean, we could this episode could be 8 hours long for all the shit he's done.
Well, it is. You told Karen, right? I mean,
what fucking time is it? I have to do my own podcast at 5:00.
Oh, you're
I have
fucked.
bad news.
Really?
Yeah.
What time is it?
6.
Are you fucking joking? Holy shit. I was like, it's 4:30. I got to get out of here.
Research is done by Charlotte George. Ashley.
I'm sorry, Karen.
I'm so sorry.
Ashley Vance's
you're sorry to
book,
us?
Elon.
Don't be sorry to us.
Well, also, I just held forth for 5 fucking minutes.
Oh,
in a
no.
row.
No, that's great.
Anna reading Crowley, Elon Musk, a mission to save the world, Business Insider, The
Karen
Guardian,
is getting her
Esquire
phone.
Magazine, Vanity Fair, Washington Post, Fortune Magazine, CNN, Mercury News, Reveal News, Young Turks, Wired, LA Times, The Hill, ABC Australia, Dollop, Reuters, MSN, Political, Mamma Mia, the Canadian Chiropractic Association, Matthew Sweet,
Has she been texting you?
No.
News Interactive. I think that's it. I said Esquire, right? Electric dot.
Well, and Dave.
AP News, Washington Post.
And Dave, why don't we thank people as well who have come with us on a journey of 600 episodes
Oh,
of total
congratulations.
fucking madness.
I mean, guys.
And thank you for joining us
That was awesome.
for this, truly.
I'm so... Did I really just end it like that?
No, it
I'm
was
so
hilarious.
sorry.
It's great.
Congratulations. 600 episodes is really huge. It's
crazy.
You've been podcasting for quite some time.
10 years.
It's sad.
We're doing our anniversary, 10-year
Yeah,
anniversary.
10-year
will be
anniversary
like
in
in
April.
April next. So we'll probably do
Oh my
some
God,
kind
where are
of
you
big
guys going to
event.
go?
We're going to go to the ocean and Baby's going to swim. Baby doll's going to surf. Anywhere where there's water, he said. I'm like, really? Why should we stand on here? He's like, oh, the sea life. And then I'm like, he's just out there surfing with the boys again.
Not even paying attention to me.
Good Lord. Well, I hope you're happy the ceviche's cold. Ceviche's always cold. Don't change the subject. But thank you. Truly, we thank everybody. And thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Karen.
Thanks.
Thank you,
guys.
Aaron.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you, Elon. You are a hero.
Gareth, we are returning. This is 2 weeks, a week and a half after we recorded.
Yeah, it's probably about a week and a half. I think it's more like 2.5 weeks.
So I had mentioned a book that was coming out, and the book came out, and the book is not as good as I had been told, because apparently the guy is kind of a stenographer for Elon. So it's a lot of fluffery, bullshitty stuff in there. We did, however, have a couple of really great things that came through.
We're in a part 2.5. Right? In part 2, part 2.5.
Yes. The first one being he has a third child with Grimes. We have to bring it up because it goes all the way back to the technocracy with...
Is it not? It's not like another XB14215.
It's almost worse. The child's name is Techno Mechanicus.
Oh my God! What?
Techno Mechanicus. At this point, you can no longer just be like, well, he kind of has a little bit of a thing for his grandfather. This is now weird.
No, he's
This
now-
is full on grandfather shit now.
Yeah.
The all the naming shit. It's completely fucking bizarre.
Well, yeah, it's not even being like subtle.
It's not even remotely subtle. There's nothing.
He's naming the quiet part out child.
So more information about his grandfather, Joshua Haldeman. More confirmed, like sort of the way it seemed. Like he went to South Africa at this time, and that was very odd. And we don't have any proof, but obviously that leans one way, right? So from this article in The Atlantic, an examination of Joshua Haldeman's writings reveals a radical conspiracy theorist who expressed racist, anti-Semitic, and anti-democratic views repeatedly over the course of decades. A record I studied across hundreds of documents from the time, including newspaper clips, self-published manuscripts, university archives, and private correspondence. Haldeman believed apartheid South Africa was destined to lead, quote, white Christian civilization in its fight against the international conspiracy of Jewish bankers and the hordes of colored people they controlled.
Oh my God!
So that's Gramps. That's why Gramps went to South Africa, just straight up full on 100%
checking every
racist,
box
every
of
box.
white supremacy possible.
Yes, all the boxes.
Just like,
he's in a box of white supremacy. He is.
yeah.
It's
Holy
quote
shit.
instead of
oh no,
quote
stop.
instead of
I'm trying
the
to
guy-
handle this. This is,
instead of the
it's just
Let me
such a. I know we're just doing a little baby add-on, but this is like a lot.
instead of the government's attitude keeping me out of South Africa, it had precisely the opposite effect. It encouraged me to come and settle here, he told a reporter for the South African newspaper Die Transvaal shortly after his arrival. The far-right Afrikaner newspaper treated Haldeman's arrival as a PR victory for apartheid.
Oh my god.
The headline was Praises Action of Nationalist Party Regime, Canadian Politician Settles in South Africa.
So, for anyone who's like, because we've been seeing like these people kind of coming out of the woodwork on Twitter and stuff, and who are going like, what are you talking about? Like, this is as transparent as it can possibly. It's trans grandparent. And
It's very trans grandparent.
And this is what you're raised in. I mean,
Yeah, this is pretty bad if you're raised in this, especially.
dude, if an apartheid state is like, big win getting this racist. It's like, you know what I mean?
Hey,
like
we
if
got,
you're
we got one of the
Yeah.
best racists.
yeah, if like the Nazis are trading for your free agency, it's not
And
great.
you know, if you couple that with the
1,000 other things you mentioned.
the 1,000 other things, you know, the stuff on Twitter that Elon now says is incredibly white supremacist. I'll give you one example, which is he always talks about the birth rate going down, that we need to have new babies. Now, that's always been your alarm bells should be ringing, because that's a very Afrikaner sort of talk. We need to make more white babies is what he's talking about. And if people say, no, that's not true, I would like to now tell you to go to Elon Musk's Twitter feed and read his thing saying there are millions of immigrants pouring across the southern border.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be worried about birth rates if there were immigrants coming in, because that actually counters that issue of not having enough children
So
that you're bringing
true.
up. So
So
it's the
true.
brown ones that you're actually concerned about. That's
That
what you're
is-
saying. It's the brown ones. That's all you're saying.
It's like you just went up to the chalkboard with chalk.
Yeah, you're just giving yourself away. That is just pure
Yes.
100% racism.
Yeah.
There's that. Now, I didn't talk about Neuralink because we had too much to cover, and also like it's a little bit complicated to dive into. But the basic thing about Neuralink that in my research was, it's kind of bullshitty. He is essentially, when he came out with it, a lot of scientists were like, yeah, no, that's 20-year-old technology. And people have been working on that forever. And the stuff that he's saying is not groundbreaking at all. And there's actually other companies that are further advanced with this kind of brain sort of implanty stuff. One of the guys who's further advanced is a guy who used to work for Elon at Neuralink, and he moved on and is in another company that he's leading that's way ahead of Neuralink. So he's not advanced in this shit at all. He's doing what a lot of other people are doing.
What is
It's
Neuralink? I know it's a brain chip, but
it's going to
like,
be something. Okay, so here's what it is. It's something you put in your brain that then
a great start,
that then
by the way.
Elon has lied about and said it's going to do all this shit that it's absolutely not going to do. Like it's just a fabrication factory at that point. But Neuralink is something that they're talking about putting in your brain, and maybe it can help and do certain things. And it's just anything
it's a bit
associated with your brain.
matrixy, right?
It's
right.
a bit matrixy.
So, but it's such bullshit.
Well, he's testing it out on monkeys.
Well, no, Dave, not just any monkeys.
Okay, so people were like, what are you doing testing on monkeys? And he said they're terminal. He also said no monkey has died as a result of a Neuralink implant. Neuralink has now, just this week, announced that it's going to be doing human trials.
But don't worry, they're terminal.
So Wired Magazine broke the story of the horrible things that are happening to the monkeys. Of course, it's live animals that are being used. Also, monkeys are very fucking smart. So this is torturous beyond words. Like, no one should ever be using monkeys for fucking anything. I'm sorry. They're too smart. Wired notes in a December 2019 experiment outlined in one of the documents saying one monkey had to be euthanized after a piece of Neuralink's brain implant broke off during the surgical process, leading to infection.
Oh, my God.
Another, I don't know how to say this, macaque? Anyway. This one, known as Animal 15, quote, began to press her head against the floor for no apparent reason. Days after receiving the implant, and her condition only went downhill. Lost coordination, she would shake uncontrollably when she saw lab workers, and after months, they decided to euthanize her. She had bleeding in her brain. The Neuralink implants left parts of her cerebral cortex, quote, focally tattered. So anyway, that's him saying monkeys have not died. Here's two that definitely have, and that's just two. And he says he chose terminal monkeys. So if you're understanding what that means if your grandmother goes into hospice, then he's fine with torturing them. I mean, essentially that's what we're talking about. When an animal is terminal, that's actually when you don't fuck with it the most. It doesn't mean they're disposable. It's a fucking monkey. Anyhow, that's my speech.
It's like the caveat of the creepy.
Yes.
It's like the island of Dr. Moran.
Just because something's not as well off doesn't mean you get to fucking stick shit in its brain.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be doing this. I'm sorry. None of this is fucking needed. Anyway, an anonymous former employee is like, that's not true. Quote, shown a copy of Musk's remarks on X about Neuralink's animal subjects being close to death already. A former Neuralink employee alleges to Wired the claim is ridiculous, if not a straight fabrication. We had these monkeys for a year or so before any surgery was performed. The ex-employee, who requested anonymity for fear of retaliation, says up to a year's worth of behavioral training was necessary for the program, a time frame that would exempt subjects already close to death's door. So he's fucking lying about it. It's just lies. He's just lying, but we already know he's a liar.
Yeah, he's a liar.
So the last thing is Twitter, which I haven't blocked. I hadn't looked at his Twitter stuff in a while, but it's really it's very Tucker Carlson. It's just straight up. This man doesn't live in reality anymore. He's just taking stuff off of a Fox News level garbage pipe and just throwing it up.
He just writes interesting under the craziest bullshit.
He's just talking to the craziest right wingers and being, oh yeah, that's interesting, and they're saying absolute fucking nonsense. So I didn't go into the trans stuff, and the reason I didn't go into the trans stuff is because he has a daughter, and that's where this is coming from, and I don't think it's right to, like, that's an actual person, that's an actual human being, and I just don't want to, sort of get into that shit that he has said stuff. But now he blames a school in Los Angeles for brainwashing her into being a communist and hating all rich people. And apparently this is why he bought Twitter. He bought Twitter as a reaction to this. Now, the school is Crossroads. I'm friends with a teacher at Crossroads. He said that Crossroads taught his daughter to hate rich people and that all rich people are evil and stuff. And if you don't know what that means that a school in which the richest people in Los Angeles, the Spielbergs, people of that note, send their children to hate rich people.
Right.
Just take a moment to think about how fucking stupid that is. It's like saying Harvard is teaching kids at Harvard to hate rich people. It's so fucking dumb, it makes my brain hurt. No one taught, who taught your daughter to hate rich people? You, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, no, and
she
it's not even
watched
that.
you.
She just hates you. Your daughter, your child just hates you because you suck. You're the worst.
Because you absolutely fucking suck. So
because you're just the worst.
So he's blaming his daughter for becoming a full communist and thinking rich people are evil. And that's why he apparently bought Twitter.
So
she doesn't want to spend time with him. She's done with him. She's written him off.
Yes. I think having a couple weeks in between to reflect and be on Twitter and watch him also has just made me be like, the guy is a major issue. He is also talking about how he's going to start charging for Twitter for everybody. And if that happens, I think you and I agree that would probably just end it in the way that it sort of has been, even as we've been sort of drowning in the bullshit of X and all the dumb stuff he's been doing. We're not going to pay him. I'm not going to pay him.
No.
I saw Peter Kalmus, the climate guy, tweet out how he was gaining 20,000 followers a month, and now he has gotten 36,000 over like a year since Elon bought Twitter. Like, it's very clear what he's doing. If you don't buy the blue check, he's trying to make you buy the blue check by making it so that you just are hidden or you don't get followers, or he keeps bot purging or whatever it is. It's very clear what he's doing.
It's also not how bots work, and he knows how bots work. Bots work, they're not going to change if you charge, because a lot of those are just off of stolen credit cards, and it's just a revolving stolen credit card operation. That's not how you stop bots. Bots aren't going to be stopped by this. It's a way to make money.
Blaming everything on bots. He's doing all this to stop bots. All this to stop bots.
There weren't as many bots on the site as there are now. Like when
Stop racing.
Yeah.
Use your money to stop
But that's why he bought Twitter, because he said conservative voices were being suppressed.
Yes.
And then he immediately started suppressing leftists.
Which is why every time someone argues that he is
oh my God,
a free speech champion, it's just...
That's actually a different episode. Like, we could do a full hour on how he suppresses full speech, and not just on Twitter, going after people who've written about Tesla and other things. Like he attacks free speech. He's like any other rich guy. They say free speech and they're doing something else. Like, that's what it always is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the update. That's kind of all. I mean, I just wanted to tag this stuff on. I think since in the week and a half, we've learned a lot more about why he bought Twitter. It's clearly because he's a right-wing reactionary now, and he's mad that his daughter is expressing herself for who she is, and he can't fucking take it. He sees that as some kind of failure when it's, not. And he's got to blame anybody but himself. It certainly can't be him. It has to be the school she went to, the rich kid school that she went to. It's absolute bullshit. And he is destroying Twitter, and Blue Sky exploded when he said that. Like, now Blue Sky, I go over there and I'm like, oh, this feels like Twitter now. Like, it's actually moving, and there's people on there, and it's legit. Like, he's done. Blue Sky is just going to copy everything Twitter was. It's going to become better than Twitter because it won't have all the dumb assholes that exist on it. Like, Twitter's now just like it's like going into a room and having just a bunch of people you don't like screaming at you all the time. It's just not pleasant.
Let me see if I screenshotted the way this person put it.
Well, while you're looking that up, I will read. Teslanomics tweeted out, "Trust me when I say this, you don't want to be Elon Musk. The weight he has on his shoulders is unlike anyone has ever felt. When the future of humanity relies on you and your companies, the opportunity, cost, and stakes are extremely high." And Elon replied, "I often do not wish to be me."
It's a remarkable statement.
Guys, he's not saving the fucking planet. There's nothing happening.
Yeah, I can't find it. But this person had such a good... It's just a random... you just scroll through, and there's this random person who was just like... Because of his... We have to now scroll through the racist idiocy or whatever of blue checks to get to actual parts that you would find maybe interesting. It's completely upended it, and it is minor. I think in the... in the experience of Twitter, the blue check part is like just, it's a dumb step towards the major problem. But it's death by 1,000 cuts what he's done on Twitter. It's like, it's just, he's ruined it in every way possible. He's the worst. A remarkable piece of shit. In a world of pieces of shit, Musk is such a remarkable piece of shit.
Yeah, that's a good way to summarize it. That's
really
a good way to summarize it. All right. So, we did it.
There you go. All right. Enjoy it. Hey, dollheads, calling the Gare Force. This is getting a little weird, I agree. Hey, I'm going to be on the road doing stand-up comedy. Come see me. Go to GarethReynolds.com for all these tickets and information. Follow me at ReynoldsGareth on all the socials. I will be in Portland November 1st through November 3rd. I will be in Eugene, Oregon, November 4th. I'll be in Bend November 5th. Seattle, November 6th. 2 shows. First one sold out. November 7th, I'll be in Vancouver. I'll be in Philly, December 27th, 28th, 29th, and then I'll be doing New Year's in Austin, Texas at Cap City Comedy. And January 4th, you can see me in Burbank, California. Let's keep them coming. I'll also be in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, January 12th, San Francisco, February 12th, and Sacramento, February 13th. GarethReynolds.com for tickets and information.
The best things in life are turbocharged. Visit Tynan's Volkswagen today and get the 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan S4 Motion for as low as $249 per month with $19.99 down, or get 0% APR for 60 months. Take off with turbocharged fun. The Tiguan features all-wheel drive with an EPA rating of 29 miles per gallon highway. For full offer details, visit TynansVolkswagen.com. Tynan's Volkswagen, home of the lifetime warranty.